You got it locked on Roadium Radio.
Hey Tony, drop that. What bass?
I bet. Dr. Dre in the place to be. Co-rockin' shit with my homeboy Steve. After Rhodium, get stupid, yo. Don't think that you can get none of Dre. The motherfucking doctor, the bitch hopper, the sucker motherfucking stopper. I'm fucked up, so don't mind what I'm saying. I'm just kicking it. But Steve, Tony, A.M., Susan, yo, we can choose it. Dope shit to put in a mix. Know what I'm saying? We kick shit like and that's a fact. And if your shit ain't in the mix, you know it's whack. And that ain't no bullshit. I'm kicking facts on a serious tip. Word up, Dr. Dre's in full effect doing serious damage, boy.
Tony A! Tony A! When you're ready, go.
Welcome back, everybody, to Rhodium Radio, episode 149. And I am your host, Tony the Wizard. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in, everybody on the live chat, and those of you that are not even on the live chat, but have just liked, subscribed, commented, or whatever. Happy Resurrection Sunday. Some people say Happy Easter. I'm cool with that too. But I don't believe in the bunny. Okay, so I don't believe a bunny lays eggs. So, but with that being said, Happy Resurrection Sunday. Other than that, just a couple of announcements before I introduce my very special guest of the night. Ads, once again, some of you have been hitting me up for ads. Some of you hit me up through the email, rhodiumradio@gmail.com, or some people have been hitting me up in the DM. If you try to reach me on Facebook, I'll be honest with you, on Facebook, I usually just post and I get out. Try to hit me on the email, rhodiumradio@gmail.com, or 90% of the time I'm more active on Instagram than I am on any other platform. So hit me on Instagram, Tony the Wizard on Instagram. And once again, for those of you that are still asking about submitting music, rhodiumradio@gmail.com, and we will get to you eventually. But the ads, once again, the ads, we're going to be playing the other ads during the breaks, a 1 minute ad. And just a quick reminder, whenever you send an ad, if you have a new album out or you have a business or something you want to promote, please do not play any music. That's one of the requirements that we tell you. If you want to find out more details, go to DOCUMIXERY/ads, or just go to DOCUMIXERY.com and look at ads, and it'll pop up everything from $100 to $300 to $500, depending on how many ads you want to buy. It's better if you show your video or a flyer and you do a voiceover where you promote your album, where people can reach you, where people can email you, etc. So other than that, submit your music. Once again, Freaky Tales every other Friday. So not this Friday coming up, but the next Friday. Subscribe to Freaky Tales on YouTube, Freaky Tales Podcast, or you can follow us at Freaky Tales Podcast on Instagram as well. And we're going to have future different guests, okay? I know a lot of you guys like the Pelvic Sorcerer, but we're going to give the Pelvic Sorcerer a little break, okay? So he'll be back soon. Other than that, DOCUMIXERY.com, if you guys want to buy merch, hats, beanies, tank tops, whatever, DOCUMIXERY.com. So that's enough of that. So without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce my very special guest of the night, all the way from the city of Oxnard, Big Tank.
Hey, how's everybody doing today? Today is a great day, bro.
Great day, great day. And you know what? You're wearing the right hat.
Yep, Cowboys all the way.
now, you know what? Now, let me ask you this, because I know, I don't know if they stopped already, but for a while, every year, the Cowboys go to Oxnard.
Yeah.
Okay, and they practice there. Okay, right before preseason. Are they still open for that still over there, or did they open up their training camp already in Texas?
They opened up their training camp in Texas.
Yeah. So if you didn't see them, pues ni modo.
Ni modo. It sucks too, you know.
It does.
It was tight when they were there. Like,
I got to see Jason Witten in person. You know, Des Bryant, of course, all the greats. You know, Dak. You know, well, Romo.
Yeah.
You know, and some of those dudes are huge, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Huge,
monsters.
Man. Yeah, man. So I stayed at I want to say I think it's at the embassy where they stay at.
Yeah.
They just told me you can't ask for no autographs.
That hotel has a lot of freaky tales.
For reals? Well, oh shit. I guess I'm gonna have to bring you back for freaky tales, man. That'll work, man. So you know what? Now let me ask you this: how did you spend your Easter, your Resurrection Sunday, bro?
Oh man, I spent it with my family. All my family came over today. We barbecued, and I spent it behind the grill, bumping corridos, old school, oldies. You know, going through my playlist, some hip hop. You know, some
work.
'90s hip hop.
That'll work, man. So what did you have lamping on the grill?
I had carne asada. I had burgers and hot dogs.
No shit. Sounds good, man.
And it was good, man.
Sounds
I was
good.
behind the grill all day, man. Those burgers. You know, when you put the burgers on the grill and the oil starts leaking down, you get that fire, start pouring water on it. All the smoke was just in my face. I was like, wow.
Oh shit.
But it's all for the family, so everybody can eat, man. That's what makes me happy, when everybody else is happy, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know what? I just had me some carne asada. I had me some chicken, rice, beans, potato salad, macaroni salad, and I had a big ass plate. And before you know it, dude, I was like going into a food coma. You know, I was like, oh shit, I gotta take a at least an hour nap. So,
man.
So this.
Yeah. I mean, I kept it light. I had everybody had buns and all that stuff, but I don't need that stuff. I do keto, so I had a lettuce wrap with chicharrones, and it was a wrap.
Lettuce wrap with chicharrones.
I made a double stack burger, put lettuce wrap, fried my onions, some chicharrones, and I was good.
Okay, you know, now for those that may not know, what exactly is the keto?
Keto is basically no carbs, so everything a Mexicano likes, you can have it, which is tortillas, rice, beans, fries, bread, anything that has carbs in it, you can't have it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? When there was a time where I was eating like 90% healthy, okay? Mm-hmm. And of course, on the cheat days, you cheat like hell. But I'll tell you what, it's a hard lifestyle. It has to be a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because, you know, forget all of that shit about, well, I'm just on a diet. No, because what's going to happen is you're really starving yourself. By the time you lose those 30 pounds and you think you look great in that new dress, you're going to
go back up. And it's happened to me several times. I've lost 100 pounds, I believe, 4 or 5 times in my life, bro. And I've always fought with my weight. It's like I look at food and just poof. I swear, I'm like, man, it's in my blood. It's the Mexican genes or something.
Right.
Le luchador, you know?
Yeah,
luchador is
exactly.
always big. It's just, man, I look at food, I blow up. So keto really keeps me at bay.
Right.
I'll mess around here and there. Like if my kids get fries or my wife is eating something, I like some chips with some salsa, I'll get a few here and there just for my taste buds.
Right.
But it keeps me at bay. Because if I didn't do that, man, I'd be a lot bigger than what I am right now.
You know what, man? One thing that I'm thankful for, because my kids even got it, I have a really fast metabolism. Even at my age, bro. Like, I have a really fast metabolism.
Oh, man, you're blessed, bro.
Yeah, dude, I can eat whatever. I can eat horse knuckles, and then I won't gain shit on me.
Man, it'll take me like 6 months just to lose like 30, 40 pounds. But in 2 days, I could gain that. In a day, I could gain that, bro. Like, just like that. I was just like, man, what's up? It's hard. It's been rough for me. But keto has really helped me, bro. So, yeah, that's what I ate. I had a lettuce wrap.
All right.
And my family
I
ate
like
good,
lettuce
and
wrap.
that made me happy, bro.
You know what? Now, let me say this, and I don't want people to say it like, oh, you're just a hater. If you want to get healthy and eat healthy, you basically have to cut out Mexican food.
Yeah.
You know? Like no more, chile verde pork meat, a lot of fried food, you know, arroz, you know, or whatever, sopa, whatever. We got to cut a lot of
but
that.
on keto, I can have that.
Okay.
It's like you have pork, you can have meat, fruits. You can't have any fruits except for strawberries, raspberries, cranberries, and stuff like
Really?
that. Bro. Yeah. But it keeps you at bay. And then tortillas, there's man, they better pay me for this or send me some Mr. Tortilla. They're 1 carb tortillas.
1 carb.
1 carb. So I eat a few of those, like for tacos, you know, and it tastes like regular. There's no difference.
Oh, wow.
Or like if there's a taquero at the party, right? And the taqueros there, I'll tell them, hey, homie, check it out. Put some cheese, grill it, and then just throw the meat on top of it. He's like, no tortilla. I'm like, no tortilla. And he makes a tortilla out of cheese, folds it, and I eat that.
That's dope.
I find a way around it. You know, that's what I'm saying. It keeps me at bay.
You find a loophole.
Yeah, or else I'll be big boy.
Yeah, man.
I'll be big pun style.
Big pun. Big
And it's happening. You know, you can see it in some of my videos. You can see my weight is always fluctuating.
Do you ever look back at one of those videos like, damn?
Yeah, all the time. And then I look at where I'm like, a lot lighter, and then super big, and then medium. And it's been a roller coaster for me.
Okay.
Always fighting with my weight.
Okay. You know what? Today being Sunday, a lot of people being at home, celebrating, enjoying the day. Driving from Oxnard, was there? How was it? Was there a lot of traffic at all?
Not at all. I got here pretty fast. Exactly what the GPS said. It got me right here around time. I just ran into a little bit of traffic by like Calabasas, but not much. It was only like 5 minutes, and after that, just 70 the whole way. I mean 65.
Yeah, right. That'll work, man. So you know what? Where originally are you from? Like, where were you raised at?
Born and raised in Oxnard, bro. Born and raised in Oxnard, California.
That's dope, man. Yeah. I like Oxnard. I know it's kind of small, and there really isn't much to do. You know, every time we've done shows out there, we've always stayed at the Marriott right off the freeway. Mm-hmm. Like when you're going towards Oxnard.
For Rice, I believe that's on Rice. Yeah.
Always stayed there, and I saw a dude get smoked there one time, dude. Yeah. Like right outside. But I went to this one spot out there, and they had a dope mariscos restaurant. I don't know the name of it, but I used to go there several times.
Probably Cabo or...
Probably. I don't know the name of it, but a good marisco spot. I love marisco.
Laveros or one of those spots.
Right. So now, you know what? Let me ask you this. You being raised in Oxnard, man, share with us. I usually go into detail and I ask people different questions, sometimes the same question, because everybody has a different story. Mm. But I want you to share your story, man. You know, as far as where did music begin for Big Tank?
Oh man, music began for me from my older brother. My older brother would listen to NWA, Run DMC, RBL Posse, and I would get his tapes. And my parents are from Mexico, so I was first generation Chicano, so I wasn't allowed to hear rap.
Right.
So I would grab my brother's tapes, sneak with his radio into the restroom and listen to everything. And I just loved rap from a young age and was able to memorize the music from beginning to end. And that's where it started, where it really took me to another level, was in 92 at the LA Coliseum at a lowrider car show. My cousin had a lowrider in the car show, and my brother took me with him. And my brother's like, man, let's go see the concert. And we went to the concert. I seen Young Bucks. I seen MC Boulevard. I seen Mellow Mayonnaise, and then I seen Frost. And when I seen Frost come out, I think that was it for me. When I heard La Raza, just hearing that and me knowing that I'm Raza too. Yeah. And to see somebody else that's the same as me on stage and the whole arena just erupted when this is for La Raza, and you hear the right. Man, everybody went crazy. I'm a 12-year-old kid, and that's when I said I want to be like him. One day I want to be like him, and that's when I started freestyling. But when I started, it was funny, Brown Pride and Chicano and all that. Right. That's where it originated, but where it changed for me is a couple years after that. I started listening to East Coast rap. Okay. So my whole demeanor changed, my flow, everything changed.
Why was that? Is it because you just heard different styles?
I felt a certain way about Chicano rap at that time. Like after I'm hearing certain cats that were coming out at that time, I was like, man, like we're much more bigger than that, at that time.
What was it? Okay, and I'm glad you said it. We're much more bigger than that. What was it that you saw that maybe rubbed you the wrong way or you didn't like it? Maybe the direction it was going?
Just the music. I wasn't feeling the music. Me personally, I wasn't feeling the music anymore. I was like, man, this is, comparing it to East Coast and like Dr. Dre and Snoop, it just wasn't the same as that, you know what I mean? So I started just focusing and listening to East Coast and like I said, Snoop and Dre, and dissecting everything, the way they're saying it, the cadence, the metaphors, the East Coast metaphors, how many rhyme patterns they put together, how many syllables they could put in a rhyme at a young age. Wow. Putting it together. And I just started rapping that way, like a little different,
I'm gonna ask you 3 questions, okay? And we'll come back to your story. Since you like listening to a lot of East Coast, I usually ask this question because it kind of gives me an idea, or it gives the public a better picture of your lyrical background. For an example, give me your top 5 groups from the East Coast that you like. They don't have to be in order, but let's just say, just give me 5 dope groups that you like to listen to.
Number 1, Big Pun.
Okay.
I was a huge fan of Big Pun. I'll go back to why.
Okay.
On that one, Big Pun. Onyx. Of course, Biggie. Jay-Z. And The Locks. And DMX and all.
Yeah.
And so on and so. There's a lot of them.
Right.
Mobb Deep.
Dope.
They definitely love Mobb Deep, you know.
Okay.
I love Mobb Deep. I used to listen to him all the time. So going back to Pun, I went to a hip hop show. I must have been like 16 years old. I went to a hip hop show in another city called Santa Paula, and it was called the 805 Breakdown or something like that. And I went to a show. There was local artists performing. That was dope. But they give out a mixtape, and it had Big Pun's Beware on it. I had never heard of Big Pun. So on the way back home, me and my homies were listening to it, and that song comes on. And then he starts rapping a little bit in Spanish. I say, yo, he's Latino. That's when I went crazy. I was like, oh, we have another Latino. So that's when I started studying Big Pun a lot. I'm a big fan of his.
Awesome, man. Rest in peace, Big Pun.
Rest in peace.
Now, top 5 West Coast artists.
NWA. So that's pretty much.
Oh, right. Because the tree grows from there.
The tree goes from there. You got Dre, Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, Yella, of course Snoop. I like Sly Boogie.
Hell
He's
yeah.
dope. Who else, bro? I mean, there's so many of them. Chino Excel's another dope one. He's from the West Coast. I know he's East Coaster, but he lives out in Oxnard.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much my tree. I really like to listen to rap. Like, if I'll listen and I want to hear what you're saying, like, I want to be able to, I have to decipher your flow.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes, I might have been ahead of my time because you had to always decipher my flow. And I still do it, you know?
Right.
Like, my first rap, I was 16 years old, and I'll kick a couple bars.
Yeah, go for it.
There ain't no question, I'm coming lethal like an injection. You can't conquer my lyrical perfection. As a rap president, I've been elected. From my unpredictable methods, expect the unexpected. My metaphors are manufactured, hard to capture. Bring the rapture, leave your skull fractured.
Wow.
I was 16 years old when I wrote that.
Yeah.
That was like one of my first like lyrical raps, you know?
Now. For a 16-year-old,
I mean, that's 1996. That was the flow back then, you know?
Yeah.
A 16-year-old kid rapping like that.
That's dope, man. Now, what was the response you were getting when you were busting like that?
Oh man, I mean, we're the only Mexican in a cipher, and it was, yo, because when they see me, they're like, what's this cholo kid gonna do?
Right.
And then they hear me flow, and they're like, what? And this is in '96, you know.
Wow. Top 5 Chicano rappers.
Frost off the top. Slow Pain. I really like Slow Pain.
Okay.
Little Uno. He's sick with it. My homegirl Diamonique, Queen of the West.
Okay.
She's definitely sick with it. And let me see who else we got. Someone that could spit. I'm being picky with it, bro.
It's okay. It's okay.
Let me think.
It's okay. We had a guy here Wednesday, Any Means, okay? And
I was going to say Any Means. He's dope.
Okay.
I got a song. We actually did a record together.
That's good, man. Reason why I bring it up is because he said this, and I believe it's true, okay? Say that there's a person that maybe I don't like personally, but if I know they got talent, bro, I can't take that away from them. No, I can't. I got to say, you know what? We might have bumped heads, but that guy is fucking talented, bro.
I'm that type of person, bro. If you're sick, I'm going to give you props. I won't hate on you. And that's the problem sometimes in Chicano rap, that too many of us hate on each other. Like, oh, that fool, whatever. Like, nah, homie, if he's tight, give him props.
Yeah.
You know, props is due what props is due. If the dude can spit and he has good music, then give him props.
Right. And to finish off what I was saying, he had mentioned that there's a lot of rappers out there that never really show him any love. And I think to a certain extent it is very, very true, because I do believe the guy can spit.
Yeah.
And he said, but I'm just going to say it, I believe that I'm one of the top 5. And, you know, I mentioned them and you said, okay, I have to agree.
Yeah.
You know, there's other guys out there, Infinite. I interviewed him here. Enemies gave him props. But you know what? I don't have any problems, man, with giving people their dues.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example, okay? I mentioned it Wednesday, and I'm going to mention it again. Me and the rapper from San Diego, a guy named Nida, we bumped heads, okay? Prior to bumping heads, I did an interview with my boy Lucky from Hoodstocks. And he asked me a question. Who do you think is the best Chicano rapper or Chicano rap artist you ever heard? And I'm going to be 100, okay? Because I have to be a man of my word when I say I got to give people their props. And you know who was the first person that came to my mind? Was Night Owl. And I said, I think Night Owl. And he goes, really? And I said, yeah, man. That guy was sick. That guy had a flow, I said, that I had never heard before. Now, maybe we're not on good terms right now. Do I still feel that way? Yeah, I still do. Because I'm not going to take that away from him.
I think they were a group, right? Him, Little Uno, and I forgot who else. Aslan, something.
I'm not sure on that.
Yeah, they were back in the days.
But that just goes to show that I give props what props is due, bro.
Yeah.
So, but please finish your story, because I know you were right in the middle. You heard Big Pun. He inspired you off of that cassette or CD you told me. And we were talking about your story, you know.
So, from there, you know, my childhood friend was Ferocious Fernando Vargas, which he ended up being my manager at one point, which was like in '97, and he took me and this group I was in called Locura Terminal. He took us to a $1 million studio, and we're recording on reel to reels.
Now,
they're talking about you better get it in one take.
now, really quick, we're talking about Fernando Vargas, the world famous boxer.
Yeah, my child, like we grew up in the same neighborhood together. I mean, I've known him since elementary on, and he's always been the homie. You know what I mean? He plaqued me, Tank.
Okay.
So that's where my name came from. Was from him. You know?
I'm glad you brought that up, because I used to be a big, well, I am a Fernando Vargas fan. You know, the reason why I say I used to be, because he doesn't box no more. But when he fought Trinidad and he got knocked down in the first round, everybody's fucking heart dropped, bro.
Oh yeah.
You know, everybody's heart dropped. But and do you remember? Did you ever meet Sinful?
Yeah.
Because remember, he used to open up.
Actually, Sinful, we started a group called the Coast Guards, and we recorded like 2 songs, which was the Mexicans, us, Locura Terminal, this guy named Avalanche, his cousin's Greedy Struggle, and we recorded like 2 songs. I don't remember what they went like or what, but this was back then, right before, in that era, 96, 97, 98, right. You know?
Yeah. Oh, that's dope, man. Shit, maybe you could hook me up with Fernando when we can get an interview. Did he still stay out there or no?
Nah, he's in Vegas, actually. He's out of Vegas, yeah.
Because I would love to talk boxing, bro. I'm a student of boxing. I love fucking boxing, bro.
And that's where my boxing comes from him. You know, because being around that, like, he took me to camp with him to lose weight. You know, the first time I lost 100 pounds was with him. He took me to camp, man. He didn't let me slip. Like, you better not eat that, and don't eat that, and come on, we're gonna go run. The first day we went to Big Bear, he's like, all right, we're gonna do a 3-mile run. I was like, fool, I ain't never ran in my life. And I swear I got like about 10 feet, and I just started throwing up, because you know the high altitude.
Right.
You're 12,000 feet up there. I just felt my lung capacity. I was just like done. I was throwing up everywhere.
Wow.
But then little by little, I built my stamina, and I was in the gym. He made me box. He made me spar. He made me do everything he was doing.
That's dope, man.
So I could lose weight. He like helped me out during that time when he was in camp. When right before he fought for his world title with Yoriboy Campas. Matter of fact, that was my first time doing a show. Was for him, walking him into the ring live on HBO at the Trump Taj Mahal for that Yoriboy Campas fight. That was me rapping.
Do you still have that video or anything like that?
Nah, nobody has that video. Shit. And when we're coming into the ring rapping, you can hear it in the background, but they have the camera on Yoriboy Campas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you can hear us in the background. You know,
Right.
there's pictures of us coming into the ring with them.
That's dope. Because I used to, back then, everything was VHS. I used to VHS every fight, whether it was De La Hoya, whether it was Fernando Vargas, whether it was Chavez, whatever. But one thing I will say that my opinion, and I will tell Fernando this, okay? I don't know the politics about boxing. I just know boxing. I still believe he was 1 year away from facing Trinidad when he fought him. I still thought he could have waited a little bit longer.
I think so too, and I think there was stuff going on behind the scenes where the promoters, I think they rushed him in. They didn't want to lose that money.
That's what I'm thinking.
You know,
that's what I'm thinking.
Had they waited 1 year, I think, oh man.
Yeah, I think he would have
I
knocked
think
him
he
out.
would have won that fight regardless, though, because he got that low blow.
Yeah.
That low blow was on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, Trinidad was an experienced fighter at the time. He knew what was coming. He was like, oh,
Right.
man. He gave him that low blow a couple times on purpose because that slows a boxer down. No matter, you never really fully recover from that. That's like in here.
Yeah,
You know? Like,
yeah. I'll mention this and then we'll pick it up right where you left off. If anybody watched the Pernell Whitaker Chavez fight, okay, everybody said Chavez lost. Look at how many low blows Pernell Whitaker gave Chavez.
Yeah.
He knew Chavez was coming for him every time, and it was right in his damn balls. Every time. And you know what? You'll take the points. Yeah, you'll take the points, but the damage is already done, bro.
Yeah, you're slowing them down. It's the dirty tricks. It's like in boxing. When you're boxing, you hear them say, chop them down like a tree. That means you're going to the body constantly. Bam, 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 body up. And then you come to the top of the head. But you want to dig in that body because the arms are here. And then all of a sudden, you just see the arms dropping little by little. And that's when those head punches come.
Yes.
And the knockout usually comes. Because the body, it hurts. When you get hit to the body, you start dropping your elbow. And you're like, oh, man, I don't want to get hit there again.
Yeah.
Or if you get a liver shot, dude, that's like...
I know.
Like a brain freeze. Like, you know, when you eat something real cold and it hurts right here in your brain. But imagine that through your whole body, your spine, and your whole body.
Yeah.
Imagine that feeling through your whole body when you get a liver shot. That's what it feels
I love talking boxing, man. But you know what? Let's finish up your story, brother. So you come out, you do this. That was your first show, or should I say, your first performance?
Yeah.
Nervous?
Oh, I was heckin' nervous, bro. And I was a little kid. I was like, what, 18 years old?
Right.
I was 18 years old when that happened.
What happens
98,
next?
I believe.
98.
So next, we recorded a demo. And from there, we got picked up by this company, El Original de la Sierra. He had a company called Z Records. And we went out there. They called us into the studio because they were doing a compilation with Sony Records.
Okay.
And this was right before Aquid and everything. This is like right around the time when Música Urbana was about to just kick
Blow
off.
up, yeah.
Aquid, I think, was a couple months before they came out. We were working in the studio on that compilation. So we ended up getting signed to the label. This is when we, you know, got over $100,000 signing bonus.
That's dope.
We dropped that. Then Univision wanted it.
Yeah.
They heard the album. They said, we want it, add a few more songs. So we went back to the drawing board. Univision bought them out, and they gave us a signing bonus. So then we dropped an album through Univision with Fonovisa, pues.
Okay, and this is you and who else again?
Locura Terminal.
Okay.
It was me and two other
guys.
partners.
Okay.
They're brothers. They're still doing it. They got their own record label called Terminal Records. And from there, we did that. We toured. We did LATV, CTV. We sold out the House of Blues. All the Urbano movement.
Yeah.
We all did it together, which was like Sinfonía, Abusivo, Aquid, JP, like everybody that David Rolas. I mean, it's all, we were all in the same circle and we all worked together and we sold out the House of Blues on our own. We were doing the Key Club, Viper Room, all the LA venues, you know.
Right.
And from there,
outside of California, how well did that record do? Like, let's just say Texas, or you know, whether it's Colorado or.
I think it did good, and we still get royalty checks from it. we signed with this publishing company called Pure Music Publishing, and they actually got it on a video game called 25 to Life. It's pretty dope. It's kind of like Grand Theft Auto, right? But our music comes on. You're breaking out of jail in Cali to try and go across the border to get through Mexico and make it, you know, and then you got to fight with federales. So when you cross the border, our music would come on. Because it was all in Spanish. It was
no shit.
Yeah, and our music would come on. I mean, on that record was Guru, 50 Cent, Jadakiss. All their music was in there too with our music.
Wow, that's dope, man.
And also Pure, they got us on like commercials in Spain and Japan and stuff like that with our music. So it was pretty cool. It did all right, you know.
Okay.
But when reggaeton came out, we tried to tell them like, hey, okay, we have to adjust now. I'm not really feeling it. That's not my cup of tea, but we're going to have to adjust to live because it's going to take over if you let them.
Right.
And it did.
It did, yeah.
And they weren't understanding that. We're like, we need a little bit more money for this record. We need a bigger bonus because we need to get like a Daddy Yankee. It's in our hands. Machete is the sister company to Universal,
right? Which
they're Universal too. I mean, it's just a phone call away making these things happen so we could collaborate and make it bigger than what it is, you know?
Right.
Mix urbano with reggaeton or somehow, some way, you know?
Right.
And they weren't doing it. So then our managers asked for, you know, breach of contract and all that good stuff. Long story short, we did a record on our own and put it out, distributed through EMI Land, which was called Criminologia. And that one did pretty good too.
So this would be considered your second album then?
Yeah, second album.
Your first one with the group, and was this still with the group?
Still with the group.
Are these two albums still available for people to purchase or go listen to?
Yeah, one's called Infierno a la Gloria, and the other one's called Criminologia. It's still available, still online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and press pause right there. We're going to come right back after a 10-minute break, and we're going to pick up because there's a song that I want to talk about that you did with Frost.
Okay.
It's actually, I think, something different than, I believe, than from what you have done before, and that's what caught my attention. Yeah. So, okay, everybody, once again, we're going to go ahead and take a 10-minute break, so make sure you call somebody, text somebody, slap the shit out of somebody, let them know that Big Tank from Oxnard's in the motherfucking building. We'll be back 10 minutes. Call somebody, text somebody, slap the shit out of somebody. Let them know that Rhodium Radio is live up in this yacht. You'll call somebody, text somebody, slap the shit out of somebody. Let them know that Rhodium Radio is live up in this biatch.
Tony A, chillin' at the Rhodium with my homeboy Steve.
Be on the lookout for our new 12-inch. The shit is dope. Yo, I like to say what's up to my homeboy Dre, my homeboy Prince of Jazz, and the girls with the big ol' ass. So Trip, I'm about to bust one more time to let y'all niggas know just what's on my mind.
In the morning, police at my door. Fresh to be this week across my bathroom floor. Out my back window, I make my escape. Didn't even get a chance to grab my old school tape. Mad with no music, but happy cause free. And the street to a player is the place to be. Got a knot in my pocket weighing at least a gram.
Welcome back, everybody, to Rhodium Radio episode 149 on this Resurrection Sunday. And we're going to go ahead and jump right into it with Big Tank from Oxnard, representing the Cowboys all day.
All day, every day.
Just in case you guys didn't know, I'm a big-time Cowboys fan, too.
Hello.
If you don't know, you better ask somebody.
Yeah.
So,
this year's going to be a good year.
You know what, man? I've been saying this year's going to be a good year for years.
We just keep saying it, bro, until it happens.
It's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
We're speaking it into existence.
That's it. Speak it into existence and it shall pass, you know?
Okay. Well, I believe in my team, of course, you know.
Yeah.
So now, okay, we talked about your first show was opening up for Fernando Vargas, walking him to the ring when you fought Yori Boy Campas.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Then after that, you got signed. Mm-hmm. You released a record. You guys left that record label. Released a record independently. Uh-huh. Let's pick it up from there.
Okay. So we released that record independently through EMI Latin, and it did good.
Uh-huh.
And from there, we put out a mixtape with DJ Warrior.
Okay.
And it did good on the street. We started selling out of the trunk. We had a van with our album wrapped on it. It had 412s in it. It had flat screens all over it. We would open it. The doors had all the flat screens. And we had videos, so we would show the videos. And we'd go like to the marquetas, the swap meets.
No shit.
Old school, you know, when you know, old school pop. And there was like a crew of us. We'd all jump out the van. Whoever wasn't from the group, pretty much everybody making money. If you sell the record for 10, you get to keep 5. Give us back 5. So everybody was making money. Everybody was hustling. You just see everybody scattered like roaches. Hey, with the CD, we do 3 for 20. We were just flipping them.
Right.
And we sold close to 30-some thousand out the trunk.
Really?
Records. And man, you don't see that now, you know?
No, of course not.
Everything's viral.
Yeah. You know, during the break, you were telling me, because I think it's worth noting that you should share this, because nobody's going to share your story like the way you share it. Mm-hmm. You were sharing that you went on tour with certain acts, and can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, I went on tour with Evie Queen, Wisin and Yandel, Daddy Yankee. Around that time when we were talking about reggaeton coming in, when Música Urbana was popping, and then reggaeton came. So around that time, I was working with this artist named Rigo Luna. He was a singer.
Okay.
So, and I've always been a writer, bro. So I wrote the song for him, and I rap on it. And it happened to be his single. So he was the opener for that tour. And I was coming along with it. We did the Universal Amphitheater. We did the big theater in San Francisco and all through California with them. I just thought it was awesome, bro. When I did the Universal Amphitheater, at the age I was like, dang, mama, I made it.
Right.
You know, when I came out there and I see the whole crowd, I'm like, what the heck? Just going crazy. Like, man, I'm just this kid from Oxnard. Look at me now, you know?
Yeah.
And that was just part of what was about to, you know, just destiny, bro. You know how you say everything falls in place. It's just destiny. So I started writing a lot, bro, and I started writing my own music. Mm-hmm. And I had always worked with Down, a.k.a. Kilo. Yeah,
you know what? You mentioned that. Now, share your relationship with him, because I know he's from Oxnard as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically with him is he had a studio back home in the hood. So I'm this young 15-year-old kid. My first time ever actually recording was in his little studio, you know what I mean? The ADAT. Back then it was the ADATs, you know what I mean? And we just had a relationship, him and Eastside Click and all the homies. We had that relationship already, but we were all everywhere, and we were selling our music to Familia Records, I believe.
Yeah.
And making our little money like that, you know, because homie would give us money for one song, And back then we thought it was a lot, like $300. Oh, we made $300 for a song.
Right.
And we were 16,
Yeah.
18, 20-year-old kids, you know. So Lean Like a Cholo popped off, and I was doing solo projects. I started writing a lot, and I started recording whole songs by myself because one verse wasn't enough for me anymore. I started growing.
Right.
And one day, Don's like, hey, come to my crib. I need help with a song. He knew I was writing. So I went over there, and Slow Pain is there. And they're kicking and smoking. So we started smoking a blunt in the garage. And Don's like, hey, well, let me hear what you've been recording. So I showed him my songs, and Slow Pain looked at him and said, dude, I don't know what you're waiting for. Sign this guy. Go take him. So then I started touring with him, and in the middle of his set, I would do my song. Fingers produced it. It was featuring Lala. And in the middle of Down set, I would do my song, and then we do Nina Cacholo, and we toured everywhere, all the lowrider car shows. I mean,
How was that, man?
Oh, man. Living out of hotels, it was awesome, bro. Living the dream, you know? What more could I ask for, you know?
Right. So you said living out of hotels.
Basically.
Yeah. I remember that, bro. I did all my traveling mostly in all of the 90s.
Yeah.
So by the time the 2000s hit, I was done, bro. I didn't want to do anymore. I think the last time I did tours was 96 to maybe like 98, you know, and I did it with all like the Chicano rappers. Before that, it was just with Quick, Second to None, AMG, High C. That's who I was doing everything with. But it's funny because I got to tour, if you will, with the black side of music and then the Chicano side of music.
That's awesome.
You know, I will say this: the only difference is this: black side of music, the venues are always bigger.
Yeah.
Okay. When I started touring with the Raza loved seeing Raza up on stage. Okay, there was a difference. I liked both.
Yeah, I did the Latin lockdown tours.
Okay.
Which was all the Chicano artists, and I actually did How the West was one with Frost. That's little after all everything that I'm talking about.
Right.
So with Down, I toured, and around that time, that's when Young Quicks came in the picture. Young Quicks was this little kid. He hit me up on social media, and you know when you just hear it, I'm saying this kid has it. I'm gonna help him out.
Right.
'Cause nobody showed me the ropes when I was his age. So I took him under my wing, and I just started spitting game to him, showing him the game, and he just.
Yeah.
That was his story. He took it from there. You know, his first time doing a show was with us for Nelly in Arizona. That was his first big show. He was out there, little kid running around the stage with a long shirt that went past his knees. And and I also met Frost around that time. And Frost knew I was writing all the stuff for Down. That's how I work with Quick, D-Train, Short. All these guys, I wrote a song that he did with Rest in Peace, Tupac. Afina Shakur signed off on the song,
right?
And we were able to use Tupac's vocals, but I wrote all the lyrics and Down rapped it.
Dope.
And then so Frost asked me to write for him, so I wrote, I think now 7 albums for Frost.
Okay, let me stop right there. The reason why, because I read your bio, and that's why it's important that people send their bio, because it gives me little things that I could that pop out to me that I could bring up during the interview. Mm-hmm. On one thing, you said that you were a ghostwriter.
Yeah.
Okay. And you just mentioned it. Is there other people that you've written for as well?
Yeah, this guy named Big LA. He was like, he was big in LA. Big LA, you know? It goes with his name.
Self-explanatory, right?
Yeah, he was an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Should I say? You know?
Now, Frost, you said around 7 albums?
Yeah.
Really?
Going on 7. I just wrote 2 more for him recently, so now it's 7.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. And we work good. The chemistry between me and him, we're like brothers. We work good, you know. Like he's like the orchestrator.
Right.
No, it's like this. He's really involved with it, you know.
That's good.
And it's
man.
cool. Like I got to work with so many different people because of that, like Bash and Little Rob, and man, the list goes on and on and on. You know,
right.
Chino XL. I have a song with Chino XL. I mean, and going back to that, like there I was, that 12-year-old little kid that said, I want to be like him one day. And to go and work with him, man, like
and write for him.
And write for him, like what more can God bless me with? Like I'm so thankful for that, you know?
Right. You know what? I know we're jumping a little bit ahead, but I want to share something because there's a song that caught my ear. That, and I believe it's a little different from what you normally write.
Yeah.
And this was a song that you released. You said the video just came out, what, a couple of months ago?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the name of that song that you did with Frost?
That one's called Same OG.
Same OG.
Same OG.
Now, for those that may not know what you're talking about, what is the point of that song? What are you talking about in that song?
It's because before my music was different, you know what I mean? I used to talk about different things, and now I'm a man of God, you know what I mean? And to me, it means I'm Christian and I'm a man of God, but I'm still that same OG. I won't turn my cheek if I, you know what I mean? I'm sorry, but there's certain things I can't do, but I'm still that same OG. And it also means he's still the same one God, now and forever, you know? And Frost wants to do music like this new music we're putting out is all positive. It's a different Frost, you know, because he has that platform. He can influence so many people with the music. What you say and what you talk about, it really matters, you know. I know it mattered to me. What I listened to, I became. And so if we can influence the youth or somebody, one person, you plant that seed in one person's heart, that's all that matters, bro. That seed, it might not happen now, but it can happen years later where I say, man, that came from this, that stemmed from this, you know? And that's what it's all about. So that's why we did Same OG. And it just lined up perfectly. Yeah. It just all fell into place. And that was my boy Vince from Outsiders clothing brand. Okay. He put that together. Shout out to Vince and Outsiders clothing brand. What they do is they feed the homeless. They do this thing where they hit 200 cities, 4 different countries, and clothe the homeless. Right. And feed them. And it's just awesome, bro, what they're doing, you know? Right. And they're local.
Do you know what's crazy? Because us as Chicanos, you know what we tend to do? To judge the book by its cover. Yeah. Okay. I'm going through YouTube, okay, just to look, and I see you. And I said, okay. I click on it. And I look at you, and here's what I think. And I'm going to be 100 with you. Let me see if this guy can rap. And then I heard it, and I was very, very impressed. Especially with that message. Now, who reached out to who? For this interview.
Oh, you reached out to me?
Exactly. Because I was impressed, and the message. And I said, hey, man, you know what? I like that positive message. I think we need more of that. And then to see Frost on there, you know, saying what he was saying, you know. Can you kick a verse a little bit of that, man? Do you remember it at all? If you don't do it. You know? Because I know you kicked a verse earlier, but I like what you said on that song, man.
Man, right now, let's see.
If you can't, don't worry about it, man.
No, I'm having a brain freeze right now, bro.
Now, let me ask you this. What inspired that song? Like, why all of a sudden the change?
Well, you know, like I said, when you talk about certain things, you start living that life. And my life was heading in the wrong direction, and my wife, thankfully, was always a Christian-based woman. Right. So she just kept pushing me. You need to stop doing that, because she knew what I was doing. Right. And it isn't until you end up in that dark place when, you know what I mean, when you say, I got to make a change. When I miss my kids' Halloween, and they're like, Daddy, where were you at? And I'm over here locked up. Right. It really hit me. I said, I need to make a change. I can't go on doing this. I got to do something different. Right. And that's what, you know, my wife pushing me, taking me to church. Man, when I first walked into church, I felt like I was burning, bro. I was like, no. I thought the people were crazy, man. Just hands up, worshiping. I'm like, man, these people are all crazy.
I know.
This ain't real.
And I bet
until the Holy Spirit hit me, and there I am. This guy is thinking he's hard as life, on his knees, just bawling out, crying, not knowing why. And I just felt it, bro, and I knew, okay, it's God. It's God's timing. It's now. So I didn't even want to do music anymore, bro. I was like, I'm done with music. Wow. But he's like, nah, I gave you that gift for a reason. Go use it. So that's what I've been doing ever since. But awesome. Don't get me wrong, I work with everybody, bro. I'm everywhere. I have my own recording studio. I record whoever wants to come through. Yeah. I'm just me. Yeah. You be you, that's cool. But I'm gonna be me, and and you know,
Okay.
just let it flow like that.
That's dope, man. So that song is called what? Because I want them to go look at it.
It's called The Same OG.
The Same OG.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll work. Big Tank.
I'm still the same OG from that Oxnard city where the streets raised me. Feel that cool breeze, homie, cause we right by the beach. And if you feeling froggish, that homie leap. A star on my hat with a jersey to match, with a burner that'll clap till the walls collapse. How many times I'ma tell him used to be a felon in the hood rebelling, pushing weight and selling. But the Lord always persuaded me when I was quick on the draw, no safety. Yeah.
Dope, man. I hope we had a live studio audience. So we can clap. That's dope, man. I'm glad you not only I'm glad you spit, but also glad you did that song, bro. Because I think we need more positive messages like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Man, it's all God, bro. It's like how we were talking about earlier, like things fall in place for a reason.
Right.
Always. And I've always been that way. Like when things ain't going my way, that's just the type of person I am. I just sit back and say, it's gonna be all right. And no matter how bad it is, it's gonna be all right. That's my attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, somewhere, I'm gonna figure it out. Cause it always does.
right.
I could sit there and be like, no, man, this and that, and worrying, and you know, oh man, I'm not gonna be able to pay the bills this month, or this and that. But when you just let it go, things always fall in place, especially when you give it to God.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad you're sharing that. Wow. Thank you for encouraging me.
Yeah.
So now, okay, you dropped that song.
Mm-hmm.
What's next for Big Tank? What are you working on now? What can people expect?
I actually dropped 2 albums just recently, last week.
Okay.
I just dropped them.
Now, why 2?
Because they're called the Lost Files. One's for the ladies, and one's for the streets.
And it's called
And
The Lost what?
The Lost Files.
Oh, Files. Okay.
Yeah, and basically all my old music
Okay.
that I never put out. I said, man, why am I gonna have it sitting here when it needs to be out there, you know? And it's just music that I did. It's the old me, but why not put it out there?
Just throw it out, yeah.
Just throw it out there. And the ladies one has like songs that should have been on the radio, but we never did videos, or I never pushed them. And it's all produced by like Fingers, and it's some real good music.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the producers you work with. Obviously, you work with Fingers, okay.
Uh-huh.
And is there any other couple of known names that people may recognize?
Rottweiler, he's from Florida. Pretty real dope producer. Cardiac Drums, he did a song with KB and Lecrae.
Okay.
He produced for them.
Yeah.
KB actually got a song on the Mafia Bosses on the show Mafia Bosses, or something like that. Too Swift, my boy Too Swift, he produced a lot of records for me. My boy Brainiac out of Spain, I've worked with him a lot. He actually produced the Same OG beat.
Okay.
And Brainiac is a producer from Spain, real talented, bro.
Okay. Now, these guys from Spain, how do you meet these guys, bro? Is it all via internet? Because obviously, a lot of time when people tell me, I get beats from Germany, and I go, do you go? Oh, no, they just email them to me. So, because I know today's technology, we can do that. Mm-hmm. So that's why I asked, is this somebody you know personally, or somebody, how did you meet these guys?
Him I met online, I believe on Twitter, bro. Back then, it was Twitter. He saw me working with Frost, and he's like, yeah, I got music. And I was doing, at that time, I was writing for a record for Frost called All Oldies. So we took a bunch of oldies and flipped them.
Okay.
You know how we were talking about earlier? We took all these oldies and flipped them.
Uh-huh.
And it's called All Oldies 1. There's All Oldies 1, All Oldies Part 2. I wrote all of them.
Really? And is that out already?
Yeah, that's out.
Okay.
That's available online.
Okay, cool. Just so that way people can know whether they want to purchase it, whether it's Spotify, whether it's YouTube, or whatever, they can go listen to it. And
that's where I met Brainiac. And he's like, man, you can't get somebody. I was like, shoot me the beat. And I heard the beat. I was like, I think I can get Chino XL on it. Let me ask Frost. And Chino's like my boy, you know. So Frost is like, yeah, let's do it. This is perfect for him. So I reached out to Chino. One thing to another, put him and Frost together, and boom, we did the record.
That'll work,
We
man.
got one with Omar Cruz, Scoop DeVille. produced
Omar Cruz, yeah.
Oh, Scoop DeVille. Shout out Scoop DeVille. I've done a few things with him too.
Yeah, which
That's
would be-
mandatory because it's Frost.
Yeah, it's Frost's son. You know, one thing that I saw on your
Omar
bio.
Cruz is another top 5.
Okay.
There
yeah.
we go.
I just had a conversation with him not too long ago on the phone. Much love, Omar Cruz.
Much love.
I was reading your bio. Said the ultimate goal through both music and boxing is impact lives in a positive way and showing anything is possible.
Yeah.
So you actually end your bio on a positive note.
Yeah.
So now let me ask you this. So because you, just to touch on it a little bit, in case there's a youngster out there listening right now or maybe even later on, and let's just say that they're listening to this and they're going through something, maybe something you were going through. What type of message would you give them, knowing that you've already been through something, you've already, if you will, had that experience with God, there was a life change, you know, you were headed in the wrong direction, but now you're headed in the positive direction. Mm-hmm. If there's a kid out there, let's just say, and he's going through it, man, you know, what type of encouraging words would you give him? No, and he may be an artist.
Man, just keep your head up. Stay focused, put positive thoughts in your mind, you know what I mean? Give it all to God, keep pushing forward, no matter what you're going through, even when you feel like there's adversity in front of your way, you come at it full throttle on auto, and you just keep pushing forward, and know, whatever it is, there's gonna be a better day, you know what I mean? You just gotta keep going, don't give up on yourself. If it's music, there's gonna be a time. There's a time for everything. Be patient. Sometimes things don't fall in place when you want them, but they're gonna fall in place. You get me? They're going to fall in place. Believe that.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I'm glad you shared that because, you know what? I spend a lot of time on the phone. A lot of people call me, "Yo, Tone, I'm going through it. Yo, Tone, you know what? I need some encouragement or whatever." And sometimes, for some reason, I'm like a magnet for some of these people, man. But we need not just people like me, but more people like yourself, exactly, that will continue to encourage, especially the youngsters today, because a lot of people believe the hype. They'll believe people on social media that have a blue check mark, like they're really winning. And I had an artist here the other day that said, you'll be surprised how many people with blue check marks are sleeping on people's couches.
Yeah.
You know, everything that glitters is not gold. And
man, what's that show? What is that show? Me and my wife were watching it. It's about being an Instagrammer, like. That kids now want to be I know there's a name for it, but they want to be like this blown up Instagrammer, and so the show shows that it's fake. Like they put this girl that she was in Dubai, and she was really in LA, but they made the background look like she was in Dubai and doing things she was really not, and they were buying robots, they were buying fake followers, buying fake comments, buying fake likes, making it look bigger than what it was. So when it got big, then it started becoming real because, you know, they sold the dream to everybody else.
Right.
Then it started becoming its own, then getting sponsorships and doing all this stuff.
Is it really worth it?
No, I don't think so. That's a lot of work. It looked like a lot of work. The girl, the guy, and some other guy were exhausted. One guy said, "Nah, I can't do this. I want people to like me for me." So he gave up. He didn't want to do it.
Right. You know, it's funny. I've had several artists that have come here, and they've gotten drunk. Okay, and when I'm walking them out, they'll tell me, "I'm not gonna lie, I bought followers." And I would always ask them, like, why? Like, now keep in mind, this Instagram page that I have, this is like my 5th page. I've had 4 deleted. I don't know how in the hell, but I had 4 deleted pages, so I had to keep starting over.
I had one hacked. I was close to 10. It got hacked. I had to start all over again.
Well, one guy tells me the reason why I buy it, he said, because nobody was following me. That's what he said. Nobody was following me. So to make myself look more important, he goes, I even bought my blue check mark.
Wow. See, that's that, you know, the illusion of trying to be somebody you're not. Bro.
Right,
Just be you. Everything will fall in its place on its own timing.
Right.
If you're hot, you're hot. You're gonna immediately, people are just gonna catch on to you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know,
if you just have that, it might not be that your music's good. Sometimes some people are being followed by a lot of people. Music's not that good. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they have that touch, that something about them.
Right.
And that's all it is, you know?
Right. And you know what? My thing is this. There's people that have brought me their music. I don't necessarily have to like your music to interview you, okay? Just because I don't like it doesn't mean that you can't go to Europe or maybe Japan and you could be a megastar over there.
Oh, yeah.
There's an audience for everything, bro. There's an audience for everything. So, and I also encourage artists that if you show somebody a song and let's just say you believe it's hot, just because they don't like it doesn't mean it's not good.
Speaking of Japan, one of my albums, Keep On Moving, was #1 in Japan.
Really?
Yeah. And I didn't find that out. The only reason I found that out is because I went on tour with Frost and they showed me the charts. They're like, you're #1. I had this guy come from a whole different city in Japan across the island just so I could sign a CD and stuff like that.
No shit.
Frost was like, watch, you're going to trip out right now. We went to Japan. The homies, the Japan homies, they picked us up in Lolos. We're cruising through the city in lowriders. And I mean, they looked like homies.
Right.
Straight up homies. Japanese homies. I was like, all right, this is pretty cool.
That's good, man. And that's how far music has taken you.
Yeah.
Now, what is your ultimate goal now? I know you said to give a positive message. Is there anything in the works right now? Because I know you just dropped 2 records. And you said Frost is coming out with something new as well.
Whittier and Atlantic, that'll be dropping soon.
Okay. Anything that they can expect from you other than these 2 that you just dropped?
I'll be dropping an EP soon. I got a few records already. I'm working on them, you know what I mean, and getting them ready. So I'll be dropping an EP soon, a few new videos, and just keep pushing and see where God takes me. You know, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If not, I'm cool with it. You know, I'm an OG.
Yeah, that's a good thing, man.
I've already, you know.
Yeah, that's a good thing because a lot of people, let's just say they're watching and they didn't know who you were. Now they do.
Yeah.
Now they see all the dues you have paid. And I think, bro, because I don't know, but I think this generation doesn't know anything about paying dues. They just think, I'm going to take a goofy-ass picture, I'm going to load my goofy-ass song onto YouTube, and I'm going to take a chance on going viral.
Bro, I wish our generation had Instagram and Twitter and all that, bro. But in a way I do, but in a way I don't, because I come from the generation of where you had to put in work. You had to put your boots to the ground and get out there and grind.
Right.
In order for people to know you, there was no such thing as social media.
Right.
It was all flyers, posters, putting posters on every telephone pole.
Yeah.
Doing all the local venues, all the LA clubs,
the in-stores.
Back then, the Coconut Teasers.
Right.
Like I said, the Roxy, the Viper, the Key Club.
Yeah.
House of Blues.
So today you could just go live from your room.
And boom. I mean, it's awesome. You know what I mean?
Of course. Can't take that away.
And can't knock it. If that's how you get it, more power to you. You know what I mean?
Okay. 2 questions, then we're going to wrap it up. Anything I didn't ask you? Anything that you wanted to share? Anything that you wanted to bring up and maybe I didn't ask you?
When we're talking about like influencing kids in a positive way, is
right.
Because I coached boxing for 10 years.
Awesome.
So I got to see some troubled kids, you know, that unfortunately, you know, one parent or no parent at all, and become like that father figure and mentor, you know.
Right.
And it was through boxing, you know what I mean? Like, and shout out to Fernando. He's doing that right now in Las Vegas. He's trying to open up his gym back up.
Okay.
But due to COVID and it not being open, you know, times are hard. So I put in on it, you know, trying to help the kids because we want to provide somewhere for the kids to be. It's better for them to be in the boxing gym and become something with themselves, because most of these kids, they all have talent, especially if they like boxing. If they like getting in there and they love the sport, they're not going to let it go. It's going to change their life forever.
Right,
you know?
right.
And that's one thing, you know,
okay.
Like put your kid in boxing. If any parents out there are watching, put your kids in some type of activity.
Right.
That'll keep their mind off the streets, you know?
Okay. Since you talked about boxing, one last question. Who's the greatest Mexican boxer ever?
Julio Cesar Chavez.
Okay.
Hands down.
That'll work. Now, let me ask you this. You know Fernando Vargas. Who would
and Salvador Sanchez.
Of course.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. Who do you think Fernando would say?
Julio Cesar Chavez.
Okay.
And you know why I know this? Because he's the one that put me onto him.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Back in the days when we were kids, he's like, man, you've never seen Julio Cesar Chavez? He had his shirt. And that's when I started realizing who he was.
Right. Okay.
We were like, man, I must have been like 9 or 10 years old. When he put me onto him.
All right. Any shout outs right now? Go for it.
Yo, shout outs to Outsiders. Shout out to everybody online. Shout out to Oxnard and anybody listening. Man, much love to everybody. Love y'all and God bless.
That'll work, man. You know what? I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to interview you, man. Thank you for driving out here from Oxnard. Much love, much
I want to
respect,
thank you
Oxnard.
for reaching out, bro. I appreciate
Yes, sir,
it,
man. God bless you, brother.
God bless you too.
Hey, you know what? You know who just walked in?
Oh, yeah.
Sophia Maria.
Hello.
So we'll be back with that fire. So once again, call somebody, text somebody, slap the shit out of somebody, let them know that Big Tank is in the motherfucking building.
Yeah.
See you in 10 minutes. Yo, call somebody, text somebody, slap the shit out of somebody. Let them know that Rhodium Radio is live up in this biatch. Yo, call somebody, text somebody, slap the shit out of somebody. Let them know that Rhodium Radio is live up in this biatch. Yo, call somebody, text somebody, slap the shit out of somebody. Let them know that Rhodium Radio is live up in this biatch.
Tony A, chillin' at the Roadium with my homeboy Steve. Be on the lookout for our new 12-inch, the shit is dope. Yo, I like to say what's up to my homeboy Dre, my homeboy Prince of Jazz, and the girls with the big ol' ass. So Trip, I'm about to bust one more time to let y'all niggas know just what's on my mind.
In the morning, police at my door. Fresh to the squeak across my bathroom floor. Out my back window, I make my escape. Didn't even get a chance to grab my old school tape. Mad with no music, but happy 'cause free. And the street to a player is the place to be. Got a knot in my pocket weighing at least a grand.
Welcome back, everybody, to Rhodium Radio episode 149. And I want to give a big shout out once again to Big Tank for dropping out here from Oxnard. Dope video, encouraging message. So make sure you guys support him and follow him on Instagram. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it with Sophia Maria.
Sophia Maria. Hello, Tony.
How you
are
doing?
you?
I'm good.
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
I'm excited to be here. Hi, guys.
Awesome. You know what? Now, let me ask you this. Okay.
Yes.
On your bio, say you're Mexican Italian.
Yes, I'm half and half. My mother's full Mexican. My dad is full Italian.
So that means you eat your spaghetti with tapatio?
Absolutely. You know what? I've actually done that too. So that's.
Oh,
a good
I love
one.
it. That's the only way I eat
I
spaghetti.
love myself some pasta, some tacos.
Yeah.
Pasta on top of the tacos is
Yes.
good.
Pasta on top of the tacos.
Heck
Well,
yeah,
oh,
absolutely.
Shit. I'm going to have to try that one. Now, when you got here, you said something because you drove all the way from Vegas
That's right.
and you got here early. Okay.
I did.
Yes. And I like punctual people. I really do. But you said that was a drive from hell.
It was.
Tell us about it.
Oh my gosh. I was so worried that I was not going to make it here on time. We left like around noon. I was at the studio this morning. We couldn't get out till noon.
Okay.
Literally hit the road. And as soon as we even hit the state line, I don't know if you're familiar with that area.
Yes.
We sat in traffic, just sat bumper to bumper for like an hour. No movement. Then before we even hit Barstow, it was like almost 3 hours. It was insane. So I was just praying that we would make it because I'm the same as you. If I say, you know, I'm going to be there at this time, I'm going to be there at that time. I like always to be early. So I was freaking out, but it was nuts. And I was like sitting there with like my lashes on, my, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy, but I made it.
Is
so.
that traffic common or, I mean, because I don't go to Vegas anymore. I was in Vegas mostly in the late 80s, throughout the 90s, and then when it came to 2000s, I'm like, I'm done with Vegas.
You're over it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But coming this way, was it just a crash or is it just...
No, it was just traffic. And the crazy thing was I really thought it wasn't going to be that bad because it's Easter Sunday. So I'm thinking a lot of people are going to be at home, you know, doing their activities. But it was bumper to bumper. There was no crashes, nothing like that. So it was just really bad traffic. Because usually coming from Vegas, we could be here in about what, like babe, 4 hours? Under 4. It took us almost 6.5. Yeah.
Shit, that was the drive from hell.
It was the drive from hell. After a while, I'm like sitting like this.
Right.
Like this. Man, but we got here, so woo.
Yes, and thank you for being here. The fans appreciate it. Rhodium Radio.
Thank you.
Rhodium Radio appreciates it. So now, you know what? We have a lot of mutual friends, actually. Mr. Las Vegas, Johnny.
Absolutely.
Okay. MC Magic.
Of course.
Yeah, you know, and I'm sure we have a couple of others that we probably didn't mention. But
yes.
Reading your bio, there was a lot of things that stood out. But before I actually get to that, I just want to ask you just a few questions before we jump into the meat of the interview. Where originally are you from?
So I was born and raised in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Born and raised there. Yeah, I always represent 702. My hometown, my city. I love it.
Now, you know what? When I think of Las Vegas, when people say, I was born and raised in Las Vegas and I live in Las Vegas, I don't know why I always think that every weekend you're at the slot machines.
Right. or like showgirls were at school with us.
So,
That's crazy.
So do you guys, being from Las Vegas, do you guys go to the Strip a lot? It's probably a silly question.
No, it's not.
Okay.
No, it's not. It's not at all. It's crazy because being born there, we really didn't go to the Strip. You know, we were like living on the outskirts where we would go to like the Red Rock Mountains or Mount Charleston. If we did go to the casino, it was like the local casinos that are off the Strip.
Oh, okay.
Now, when I was in my 20s, I probably went to the Strip too often. But being in my 30s now with 3 kids, I really don't go to the Strip unless I'm going for work, if I'm singing in the lounges with my band or we got a show and stuff like that. So, but yes, I mean, Vegas can be very draining, I'm assuming, for especially a tourist and stuff like that. But when you're from there, it's casual.
The last time I was in Vegas, it was almost 20. Well, I think it was 2001.
Oh,
and
wow.
then I went last year when I think they started barely opening up from COVID.
Yeah.
And then I think they closed down. It was I went with my brother. It had almost been 20 years. And the strip, I'm walking down the strip, and it smelled like ass and weed. like
Were the guys there with the flyers, with the girls with the little chi-chis out?
yes.
Oh, Vegas.
Yeah, and then that's what he said. He goes,
Yeah.
do you like
He
it?
was loving it.
He loved
Hell
Vegas.
yeah.
And I'm like, no, I don't like this, you know?
no, yeah.
Because I'm, like I said, I've been to Vegas a lot in the 80s and 90s, so I'm kind of like done with it.
Right.
I did my partying. It's kind of like when people used to go to Ensenada, Rosarito, or Spring Break, or Spring.
Right.
You know, it's like I'm done with that too, but I don't really care too much for Vegas unless I'm going to a boxing match.
Yes.
You know?
Oh,
Now-
that's the best.
Yeah.
Vegas is always holding the dope box.
So now, kind of a weird question I like to ask fans, or should I say, for the fans' sake, in case they live in Vegas, what elementary, middle school, or high school did you attend out there?
So I went to a lot of different elementary schools because we were always moving around.
Okay.
I went to an elementary school called Gilbert. It was a performing arts magnet school.
Okay.
Which was a lot of fun. As far as junior high school, I went to Mulaski, and then I ended up going to Horizon, which is like a continuance school. Yeah, I was crazy. I was getting into a lot of trouble back then, so
We all
I was kicked out of high school and brought to the continuance school, and then I ended up getting my GED, my good enough degree, I should say, or my brother calls it.
Good enough degree. That's a good.
It was
one.
my good enough degree, and it was good enough because I'm set, you know.
That's dope.
But also at the same time I was touring on and off with MC Magic and PCG concert groups and stuff like that. So I was always gone a lot.
Okay.
So it just kind of worked out, but
Okay.
yeah.
And I guess that's where I was going next. At what point in time, and you're like, well, you know what? Before I get to that, growing up in Vegas, what type of music would you say you were raised with as a little girl growing up? What type of music was played in your home?
Oh, I grew up with so many inspirations, like everything from Leonard Skinner to Whitney Houston to Vicente to Boys to Men. My mom is really into music, and she would play all genres of music and stuff. And my dad, would love like the Bee Gees and stuff like that. So
Bee Gees are dope.
Oh yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. So in general, I love music. I was trained classically when I was 8 years old, and I was in a few operas and stuff. And just even like when I perform in the lounges with my band, we sing covers from rock to pop to Latin to all sorts, old school. So I
That's
love
dope.
music.
So you just don't stick to one genre.
Well, like when I'm performing my music, my independent music, it's more like R&B, pop. But if I'm, working in Vegas with my band, we have to sing everything, covers
Yes.
of all kinds of music or whatever, is requested and stuff like that. So, but I just love music in general.
That's dope. So, well,
Yes.
now that things are opening up, I'm
Yes.
sure you guys are going to start performing again in Vegas with your
Yes.
band. No, maybe
A little bit on and off, but the next concert I have will be at the Hard Rock. It'll be me, my friend Welby, King Little G, and then following that, I'll be opening the Ice Cube concert at the Orleans Arena with the E40 and Warren G and all that stuff.
That's
so
awesome.
I'm super excited about
That's
that.
awesome.
That's gonna be dope.
We'll
yeah.
definitely recap that towards the end to remind people.
Yes,
so that way they can
absolutely,
go.
for sure.
So you
Appreciate
said at 8 years old you were introduced, or you got a little bit more involved in music. You said, was it?
I did. So I started singing when I was like 5 years old.
Okay.
And my vocal teacher at the time, she would put me in pageants, competitions, singing in church choir.
Uh-huh.
And I had met some producers that actually came to a pageant and saw me perform. And they had known an A&R that worked for Arista Records. And we started making music, and I went down to New York and sang for L.A. Reid, and he signed me to Arista Records that night when I went down to audition. And I was with that label for a couple years. Sadly, I was kind of put on the shelf. They went through a change where they had let go a lot of A&Rs, and my A&R was one of them. But when I was able to get out of that contract, that's when I met, Alan Beck through PCG concert groups. He puts on the old school meets new school concerts with Art LeBeau. So I would start touring with, Denise Williams, Evelyn Champagne King, Zap. And that's when I met MC Magic at the time. He was with NB Writers. And he signed me to Nasty Boy Records, and we toured and with PCG and all his concerts and made music. And then luckily in my 20s, me and Magic wrote a song called Forget About Her. And independently it hit #1 over 45 different stations in the US, and that was cool. So
That's
it's
dope.
been it was just it was a ride. It's been a ride.
So
but
okay. So you know what? So now
Yes.
let's go back a little bit. You were signed to Arista at what age, if you don't mind me
I was
asking?
13. I was
You were-
13
you
when
were
I got
13.
signed to Arista.
Wow.
Yes.
So and all of this was just somebody that saw you performing somewhere.
Yeah, so I was performing at a pageant, and there were some producers, I guess, in the audience. And, you know, I was in the talent competition singing, and they reached out to me after the show and was like, hey, you know, we're producers out of LA. We have certain connections. We'd love to make some music with you. And they introduced me to, her name was Rhonda Badikian, and she started managing me at the time. And she actually managed Hanson. You remember Hanson?
Yeah.
Oh, bop, dop, ba, do, bop, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she started managing me, and we just worked from there and got in with Arista. And it was so crazy. If I can explain to you the night when I auditioned for LA Reid. So I'm 13 years old. This is crazy, you guys. I'm 13 years old. I go into this huge room, and there's like 13 or 14 A&Rs like lined up around the room in a circle. And there's LA Reid like sitting back like in a chair with shades on. And I walk in, he doesn't say hi, nothing. He just looks at me and goes, sing. And I was like, dang, okay. So I just went into the middle. I don't even remember what I sang. I wish I could remember what I sang, but I just started singing, and we got a phone call that night, like, he wants to sign you, blah, blah, blah. And that's what happened, but it was nuts, the whole experience. And I remember, this was even crazier. So the hotel that we stayed at, my dad was down in the lobby. He was grabbing me a hot tea, and he comes upstairs and he goes, I was sitting on the couch waiting for like your tea to come, and I started talking to these guys, and he was like, I guess they're here too to audition with LA Reid. And he goes, yeah, they gave me their flyers, and it was Outkast.
Really?
Swear.
Wow.
And now they're huge, you know.
Right.
But he was like, you know, at the time they were nobodies, you know, and he was like, man, they just handed me their flyer. I guess this is them.
Right,
and it was
right.
Outkast.
You know what? I love hearing stories like that, because I've had guests here, okay, in the past that I knew they had an amazing story, okay? And dope music, but maybe they never got the recognition they deserved. So you had fans that would say, who are these? These guys are a bunch of nobodies, okay? Here's my thing. At one point, Outkast was a nobody. At one point, Snoop was a nobody. You know, so I always tell people, you know what? Why don't you support them instead of talking about them? You know, help me make these nobodies a somebody. You know, instead of just sitting there and talking shit.
Yeah,
so
there's so many artists that are under the radar or underrated.
Yes.
Even in coming from Vegas, you know, just to rep my city, even like you come across musicians and artists in Vegas that play in these small little lounges that are just brilliant singers. And, you know, so there's so many great artists out there.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder, like, how come this guy never got out there or something? And we don't know their story, and I like to hear those type of stories. You know?
Too.
So now you're 13, you signed to Arista, so you have the producers that you're working with.
Yes.
Now, you said, if I'm correct, they went through a shift or a change where the A&R got the, you know, left or whatnot. So that album got shelved, is it safe to say that?
I made 2 albums with them, and they were shelved. Never heard about them again, It's like, made it, ghost. They went ghost on me.
Wow. And you know what? I've met a lot of artists too that they played me their demos. Oh yeah, you know, I was signed to Death Row, or I was signed to whatever, Paramount. And they showed me the record, and I would say, okay, these guys are the next to blow. And for some reason, their albums got shelved.
I know.
And I just didn't get it. Like, I just didn't get it.
It's hard. It's tough, especially, you know, I was so young, and I just didn't understand exactly what was happening and what was going on. I couldn't do any other work because, you know, you're under contract.
Right.
So it was just a relief, even at that age when I was let go, just to be able to be free and explore other options and to make music freely and perform it and put it out. And it was a blessing to meet Alan Beck, who brought me into, you know, PCG concert groups and be able to tour with like Evelyn Champagne King and, you know, Zap and all them. And then of course meeting MC Magic, you know, it was heaven sent. So
now what, I mean, obviously something negative turned into a positive. I ended up signing with Magic, but what were the labels telling you? And the reason why I want you to share this is because there may be artists out there that are listening to this that may have gone through the same thing you did, and maybe they have a different story, but did they ever give you guys a reason why the first album never came out, but we want you to work on another one, and then the second album never came out. And what were their excuses? Just other than
from what I recall, it wasn't more so any reason. It was more so the lawyers that I had were saying this isn't a good idea for you to stay in something without any representation. Okay. I guess being so young and being signed to a development deal, I had to have some type of A&R. So I was able to stay, but I was taking my chances of being shelved for who knows how long. Yeah. And I was so young, and my dad was also managing me at the time, and he just didn't want me to be stuck in anything. Right. I think, okay. Yeah, okay. That's what it was. So we were able to get out of the contract.
Now share with us how, yes. Magic, as a matter of fact, Magic was here recently with J-Rocks.
Oh, nice.
Yes, and he's been here twice. Yeah. And I truly appreciate it. This guy drives all the way from Arizona.
Oh, yes.
And he's very punctual. He's here on time.
Yes.
Awesome.
He's amazing.
How did you end up meeting him?
Oh, so Alan Beck was putting together an old school meets new school concert. Right. And it was like Zap and GQ, and on the show was NB Writers. And at the time I was 16 and brought me backstage. And of course, at that time too, I was huge fans of MB Writers. Like I remember a little boyfriend that I had at the time, made me a mixtape. I'm dating myself, but you'd make mixtapes for someone. And on there was AZ Side and Lost in Love. And so I was fanning out and meeting the group and Dose and Zig and Magic. And Magic, we just made a connection, and he was like, I want to take you under my wing, and and we just started making music. So we would do Sing Thee, and I would sing Lost in Love with him. We would do The Only One, and we did Forget About Her, and we just spent many years, with of course Big D, his road manager and stuff. Yeah. And it was just good times, and he's just good people. And it's crazy that you say that he drove all the way from AZ, because when I met him, this was a time when, he wasn't as big as he is now, when we would literally be driving from state to state, hitting different radio stations. When before, now everything's streaming online. Back then, we would have to get the radio station to play the song, and you would go to the station and try to get it on Bump It or Dump It. And if they had it on Bump It so many times, they would put in rotation. And, it was a hustle. And at that young age, I watched MC Magic and Big D, the hustle mentality, and there was times they wouldn't even let us in the door, and to see where he is now, I mean, he is a true hustler. Yes. And and he's a man of his word, and he's a good guy. Big Tank was talking about being a Christian man. MC Magic is a wonderful Christian man and husband, and he loves his family and he loves his fans. And I haven't met J-Rocks, but I've seen videos of her, and I think she's beautiful and extremely talented, and she couldn't be in better hands, Yeah. And it's just,
that's dope.
Good people.
That's dope.
Good people.
Now, he was sharing with me that he was driving to J-Rocks' house and recording there in the living room. Nice. How did you guys end up recording? Were you going to Arizona? Was you going to Vegas?
It was back and forth. There was times he would come out to the studio in Vegas. There was times he was living at a different house then in Arizona. We would go to his studio at his house. He has a portable studio too with him all the time. So there was times that we'd just be at a hotel or at a gas station. He would pull out, hey, let's just do this really quick, We'd be getting gas and just drop a hook really quick or something like that. But yeah, it was always back and forth.
Now, did you know at that age, or 13 when you were signed, that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life?
Yes, I knew I wanted to sing since I was 5 years old. I would be singing all over the house, and one day my dad was watching Star Search, and he was like, hey, do you want to do something like this? And I was like, yes. And that's when he put me in voice lessons, but it was something that I always wanted to do and loved. And it's something that, that's all I've ever known. I'm 35 now, and I've been at it since 5-6 years old. So I love it. And I just actually started dipping into acting. I don't know, this is kind of crazy, but I just filmed this movie with an amazing director. His name is Rock Daniels, and he made a movie called The System. If you guys can check it out, please go look it up. It's called The System by Rock Daniels. Magic was also in it. I think he played the good cop or something. Really? But Magic will also be in this film as well. It's this one's more of a comedy, but I met iRock doing a music video that my friend AC, the promoter, and Magic did a song called Hey Girl that I was on. You guys can go check that out too. It's called Hey Girl. And I met him through that, and he was like, do you act? And I said, I've done it, like plays, musicals. I've done some commercials. But this was like my first real acting type thing. And I had the best time. In the 20 plus years I've been in music, I have to say this was the most fun I've ever had.
Really?
It was so, yes. I was like, man, I wish I would have done like acting too. Or I want to keep, there's a couple things that have been brought up that I can't speak of that I'm going to be tapping into that I'm super excited about. But
that's awesome.
yeah, I'm super stoked. And it doesn't matter how old I am. Like, I feel like I can just continue acting if I want to, because,
Well, same thing with me. I just turned 53 years old, and I love filming.
Yeah.
I filmed my first documentary, and I'll tell you what, I produced albums, I've toured, I've DJ'd,
Wow.
I've done a lot of things. Yeah. But when I finally started directing my documentary, my 3-hour documentary, man, I fell in love with music again.
Yeah.
Like, it was something just totally different. I fell in love with music again, and that's what made me want to get it back into what I'm doing now. Now I'm producing again.
Nice.
But I'm happy for that. Even in my old age, I like producing. I like.
What is
music.
it called? Where can I find your documentary?
I'll give you. Well, it's called the Rhodium Mixtape DOCUMIXERY. It's about mixtapes that I did and Dr. Dre did in the 80s.
Nice. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
I definitely have to check that
and
out.
I interviewed over 20 people that confirm, and I'm sure you'll recognize many of those people that confirm that everything that I say and everything that they're saying is all truth.
Yeah.
That's my history. It goes back to a swamp meat called the Rhodium swamp meat, so we named it the Rhodium Radio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So I always have to explain that because people say the rodeo. What is
Right.
that? You
Yeah.
know?
I was curious.
I don't ride horses. No,
well,
but-
that's your next thing. Now you got to ride horses.
Right. Exactly. Now, growing up, did you play at all? Because you're mentioning acting.
Yes.
You're mentioning singing. Did you at all play any instruments?
My dad put me in piano lessons, and I went to like 3 lessons, and I was like, I don't want to do this, Dad. Now I can kick myself in the culito because I wish I would have. I wish I would have played the piano, but no, I never really have. That's something that I would like to get into for sure.
Right.
To play the guitar, the piano.
I tried to take piano lessons, and I just didn't. I didn't have no patience.
That's me.
I have no damn. I get road rage, so I have no patience. So I'm like, you know what?
That's funny. That's just like me.
Yeah.
I have such ADD though, so it's very hard for me to like focus like that. I'm in the wrong business, or maybe I'm not. I don't know.
I wish I would have stuck with it, but or maybe I had the wrong teacher. But that guy wanted me to be like Beethoven the next day, and I'm like, slow down, pal.
He was mad at you.
Yeah, I go like, I'll learn it.
Yeah.
But slow down,
Yeah, at your pace.
Yeah, and then I remember one time he even goes, God darn it, Tony.
No.
It was my 3rd day, and I was like,
You're
hey, homie, you need to calm the fuck down, Like,
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I was like, hold on. One thing with me is that you literally, I don't read manuals. I will not read manuals. Yeah. Just show me how to work it. Okay, that's how you turn it on. Yep. Okay, this is this. Okay, yeah. Do it again. Okay, now let me try. That's how I learn.
Yeah.
Walk me through it, so. But he was trying to teach me how to read notes and everything. And then I found out later on that I'm a guy that will play more by ear than by reading.
Yeah.
So maybe I just needed to be around people that were playing and how do you do that? Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
And I bet you'd pick it up that way.
Yes.
And that's like me too. I can read music. I can sight read.
Okay.
That's just from like opera and stuff like that. But
I'm
the same.
Now, so you at one point did opera music or?
Well, that's my teacher.
Right.
Was trained classically, so she trained me classically.
Classically, okay.
Yeah, just to have that, I guess, experience.
Can you still hit those high notes?
Let's see. I don't know.
Damn.
That was probably so annoying to your viewers. Like, what the hell was that?
No, I thought something was in a break. You know how the glass breaks sometimes when you hit those high notes?
Oh my God, that's so funny. No, when I'm like warming up, my kids will be like, damn, can you stop? Or please, no more.
You come from a big family, a lot of brothers and sisters?
I have one older brother, surprisingly, being from an Italian-Mexican family.
Right.
But I have a big family. I have a lot of cousins.
Okay.
I have a lot of cousins.
Okay.
Everywhere, from Mexico to AZ to Chicago, New Mexico, everywhere. And hello to my family if you're watching. my mom, my dad, my brother,
Yeah.
my cousins, my Uncle Bob, my Aunt Dolores. We just lost my cousin Augie recently in a car
I'm sorry to hear
accident.
that.
So, been going through it, but we love him and miss him.
My condolences.
Thank you.
So, you know what? Now, let me ask you this. You signed with MC Magic. You guys produce a record. It comes out. How far did that take you?
You know, it was so crazy because being independent, there's not much you can do.
Right.
You don't have like a machine behind you when they're like doing a lot of payola at the time. I don't know if that
Yes.
still exists, but
I'm
you
pretty
know,
sure
you're,
it
you're
does.
dealing with like people paying, you know, thousands to get the song played, you know, in rotation. And at the time, really being just like a no name, you know, I still am a no name, even more so no name. Back then, so the song that we made was called Forget About Her. And
Yes.
when it hit, it was just, we kept putting it on Bump It or Dump It stations. And luckily, somehow it just kept getting bumped. And they would put in rotation and it just kind of snowballed. And it was so crazy because I remember it was my first show and it was in McAllen, Texas. And I was opening for Bash. And I remember Big D had called me and was like, yo, like, everyone's going to be singing Forget About Her. Everyone's going to know the song. And throughout my entire career, I always sang covers. I never sang my own song, and
Right.
especially for people to know it, you know.
Right.
And I was just like, there's no way, like, no one's going to know this song. And I remember, like, getting out of, like, a limo pick me up, getting out of the limo, and, like, they saw Bash, and whoo, and they saw me, and no one said nothing. I, like, got out of the limo, I was like, hey, and everyone was like, who is this, you know? So I was like, really, like, no one's gonna know this. But as soon as I started singing the song, everyone started singing along. And I just remember, like, I couldn't finish the song because I ended up, like, falling to my knees crying because
Really?
in my whole career, and that was already at the time I was 21. So you got to think, starting at like 5, 6 years old and going through the ups and downs and the labels
Right.
and this and that, it was like, I always remember that being the most exciting part in my career and being so grateful for that moment. Even though no one knew me, you know?
Right.
They just knew the song, so it was really cool. And then it just kind of snowballed from there. It was mainly like a lot of like the West Coast area, you know, some Midwest, some back East, not so much, you know.
Okay.
But it did really good for being independent. At that time, we didn't have social media the way we have now.
Right.
There was no Instagrams and Facebooks, and YouTube was barely getting started. There was a MySpace, and it was like you would just go on to MySpace and see how many times like your song was played on your page,
Yeah.
type thing, if you know
Yeah.
anyone remembers. So I can only imagine what I've done in this time, but then there wasn't really social media, so it was just based off of, you know, the radio. Now really you don't even need the radio as much.
You're
you
right.
know?
You're right. Yeah, we have our own platforms now.
Yes.
We have our own platforms.
Podcast.
Yes,
All
absolutely.
that stuff, you know?
We're gonna go ahead and take a 10-minute break. We're gonna come right back, and but I want to say this. I have a friend that lives in Colorado, and this person wanted me to tell you that she is a fan of yours, and she loves your voice. And when she saw your flyer, she
Yes.
said this: "That was the girl I was trying to tell you you should get on your show."
Oh,
Yeah. So
that's so amazing.
Yes,
Who?
yes, so-
What's the name? Do you remember her
yeah,
name?
her name is Priscilla.
Priscilla, thank you so much. If you're watching, I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody. Once again, we're going to take a 10-minute break. So make sure you call somebody, text somebody. You know the rest. Sophia Maria is in the motherfucking building. We'll be back 10 minutes. Let them know that Rhodium Radio is live up in this biatch. You'll call somebody, text somebody, slap the shit out of somebody. Let them know that Rhodium Radio is live up in this biatch. You'll call somebody, text somebody, slap the shit out of somebody. Let them know that Rhodium Radio is live up in this biatch.
and Tony A chilling at the Roadium with my homeboy Steve. Be on the lookout for our new 12-inch. The shit is dope. Yo, I like to say what's up to my homeboy Dre, my homeboy Prince of Jazz, and the girls with the big ol' ass. So Trip, I'm about to bust one more time to let y'all niggas know just what's on my mind.
In the morning, police at my door. Fresh to be this week across my bathroom floor. Out my back window, I make my escape. Didn't even get a chance to grab my old school tape. Mad with no music, but happy cause free. And the streets to a player is the place to be. Got a knot in my pocket weighing least a gram.
Welcome back, everybody, to Rhodium Radio episode 149 on this Resurrection Sunday. So hopefully you guys had a blessed Sunday. I would like to thank everybody who's tuned in, everybody on the live chat, all the subscribers, everybody who's commenting, and everybody that might be talking crap or leaving stupid-ass comments. It's all good on me. At least you're still logged in. So let's show some love, some respect. Let's put some respect on Sophia Maria's name.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes,
Hi, guys.
Well, you know what? Once again,
Yes.
thank you for being here, driving all the way from Las Vegas, and driving back tonight.
Absolutely, and thank you so much. And I want to give a shout out to Johnny Boy. Me and him go way back,
Yes.
and much respect to Johnny Boy. He represents 702 like I do, and he
Yes.
was one of the first in the Vegas scene to really hit the Chicano market, and he's just a good person. His family has an amazing, hilarious TikTok. They're called That One Family, DAT One
Yes.
Family. You guys check them out. So shout out to Johnny Boy and Jenny and the Fam Bam.
Johnny Boy, as a matter of fact, he said he'll be coming to LA soon.
Nice.
So he goes, I'm gonna bring you a bottle, and I was like, dope.
Yep.
What more can I ask
Sounds like
for?
him. He's cool.
Now,
He's cool people.
Let me ask you this, okay? Because sometimes there's certain parts of the interview where I just like to just shoot the shit, like we just talk about whatever.
Yes, good.
Anything lately on TV that you watch that's good that you could recommend? I don't really watch a lot of TV, okay?
Okay.
But when I do, I'll watch a good movie. I'll watch a documentary. I'm a documentary guy.
Yeah,
okay?
I love docs.
Or forensic files or
Okay.
some crazy shit like that.
Yep.
I seen Coming to America not too long ago, and I was disappointed.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet, but I wanted to. How come?
Okay, it looks exactly like the first one.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm so hard on it is because with me, Coming to America 1,
Right.
to me, is the funniest movie of all time.
Okay.
My opinion.
Yes.
And so I had already set the bar high for the second one.
Right.
And it's about 30 years too late anyways. But so when I saw it, they made it look exactly like the first one.
Okay.
It was not as funny.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I noticed that Eddie Murphy had like 2 different African accents through the whole movie.
Did he?
Like it was weird. But I mean, he still played a good role. I just didn't think it was that funny.
you have a good ear to notice that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have good ears and I have good
but
vision.
Of course, yeah. Yeah.
Tony vision.
Tony vision.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now, anything good? Anything you? Can
I mean,
recommend?
like, as far as anything good, I'm a reality show junkie, and my husband can't stand it, but I'm all into like the Housewives of Atlanta. Woohoo! Love myself some Portia. But shows that I was like really into: The Walking Dead, Mayans.
Oh, okay.
I love Mayans. What was the show that we're watching with the cartel? And I just went blank. That's
Narcos Mexico?
yeah. Well, not yeah. Well. Narcos Mexico was good, but I can't think of the other one. Snowfall is so good. You've got to watch Snowfall. That's
Okay.
like one of my favorite right now.
What exactly is that? Is Snowfall?
So Snowfall, it's based on like the drug trade.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of like with the like with the Mexicans and African American, and it's based on like this young guy who kind of
South Central Crack.
yeah.
Oh,
South
okay.
Central Crack, that kind of, he starts from like the streets and he makes his way into like a king in the streets and builds his own empire and stuff like that.
And that's
it's
on
really dope.
Netflix?
What is it on Netflix?
No, FX.
FX.
FX. I'm gonna have to check
yes.
that out.
So check out Snowfall. It's so good.
Okay.
So
and
good.
since it's on FX, I got to give a shout out to Hip Hop Uncovered. My boy Rashidi Harper. Make sure you check that out. It's a docuseries of 6 episodes where it's a documentary
Yeah.
about hip hop, but everybody that was behind the scenes who had the money
Yeah.
and put the money up for these rappers to make it.
Oh, that's dope.
So it's really, really dope. And I interviewed the director here. He's a good friend of mine. So I'm
Okay.
thankful that he came through. But I always like to recommend people like good movies or good documentaries or whatever.
Yeah.
You
Well, I'm
know?
definitely going to check that out.
Yeah, there's another one
Okay.
too. I know the name might throw you off, but I think it was dope. It was
Okay.
a documentary called Crack
Okay.
on Netflix. And the reason why I liked it, because it
Yeah.
talks about that whole era where pretty much where crack just blew up and so did rap.
Yeah.
And they kind of show them they go hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
It's crazy.
Oh, that's
Now,
nuts.
this may be a dumb question, but are you a big
Never
rap?
a dumb question. Not with Sophia
Maybe a dumb
Maria.
person. Maybe a dumb person.
No.
Okay. Are you a big rap fan?
Yeah, I love rap music.
Okay.
Heck yeah.
East Coast, West Coast, like what do you prefer?
Obviously I grew up listening to more West Coast. I grew up with, listening to Tupac and Warren G, Snoop, Bone Thugs and Harmony. Obviously, it's not West Coast, but I loved Bone Thugs. Yeah.
Okay.
Kid Frost. And it was so cool, with Kid Frost, because I did a show recently, and I did this song with Kid Frost and Coolio. And I became really good friends with Coolio's wife. Her name is Mimi Ivy. Follow her on Instagram at Mimi Ivy. She's amazing. And I did a show, and they just showed up and came through to the show. And it was like Coolio, Mimi, Kid Frost. He came with Bad Boy from Clica One. Clica One was a big Chicano rap group in Vegas, you know. So it was so cool. He's just like a amazing person.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
But
You know what?
yeah, growing up listening to Kid Frost, and yeah, I love rap.
Speaking of reality shows that you
Yes.
had mentioned, did you ever watch? I only watched one or two episodes of The Bachelor.
Oh, I never really got into that.
Okay, don't.
Yeah. What's crazy? I feel like I'm the only one that doesn't watch that, but I know my sister-in-law, she loves The Bachelor. I just never got into it.
Okay.
I can't fathom fighting for a man. Like, no offense, but
Right.
you will never catch me fighting for a dude. Like,
Okay.
ever.
Okay, now, then you got the other one, The Bachelorette.
Right.
Okay, here's my thing. Tell me if I'm wrong, please.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
And here you have, what is it, like 10 dudes?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
10 dudes that she goes out with.
Right, and then she has to pick, and
Yeah, okay. And the
Breaks down.
majority of the time, she's pretty much she's been with all of them.
I know. That's what I don't get it.
Okay, say I win. Say I'm one of the bachelors. So I win, and this is going to be my wife.
It's gonna bother you.
Yeah, out of respect, I'm going to say, all those guys already hit.
Yeah. well, we don't know if they're actually hitting, but we don't know. I know, and it's in your face. It's not like we meet someone, we know that there's a past, but it's not in your face.
Yes.
That's in your face.
I know.
And you got to watch reruns of that shit? No, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm too jealous. I can't.
You could be sitting right there with her, and you're watching reruns. She's over here tonguing some dude down.
Saying the same things to him as she said to you.
I'm going to pick you, baby.
Right.
And you're sitting right Yeah.
I can't stand him. And then,
Yeah, so.
No, I know.
That's
Same.
one show that I just never understood.
Yeah.
I just never understood. But did you ever watch Jersey Shore?
I used to back in the day a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I went to
It was
filmed
cool.
it.
And I like Snooki.
Oh, okay.
She became like iconic.
Yeah.
I mean, look at her now. She's dope. Yeah. I like that shit.
I went to where they filmed it. Okay.
Okay.
And that shit is so damn small.
Is it really?
So small and ghetto. It's all, yeah,
For real?
yeah. I've been there.
And it smelled like
weed and ass.
I was gonna say fish and
No, that's right. That was the strip.
that was another set.
Man, but the reason why I went to New Jersey, well, my daughter was stationed out there, but I went out there and I liked it out there.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go to this one restaurant where Anthony Bourdain actually sat there and kind of gave a review of the restaurant. So I went there, and it was so dope because I got to sit where Anthony Bourdain sat and gave his interview. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So then from there I went to Jersey Shore, and it was
was there like a specific thing on the menu you wanted to try that you saw him?
Yes,
talk
it was
about?
clams and pasta.
Nice.
Yeah, so
you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, so that's what I had.
You like seafood?
I love seafood.
I love seafood. I can fuck up some seafood.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. So it was funny because when we walk into the restaurant, the lady goes, "Where do you guys want to sit?" And I'm looking. I was trying to recognize where he sat. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, well, I'll just wait. I go. They wanted to sit us like by the bathroom, and I don't like sitting over there.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just wait. It's going to be like 20 minutes, and I was like, I don't care. I'll wait. I don't sit by the bathroom. So finally, this couple got up. They walked out, and I said, I'll just sit right there. Yeah. Okay, cool. So they cleaned it up, sat down. They looked at me and goes, "You're a lucky man." I'm like, why is that? He goes, "Because Anthony Bourdain sat right where you're sitting."
That's crazy.
And I said, "Are you serious?" and they go, "Turn around," and the picture was right there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
that's crazy.
I'm an Anthony Bourdain fan. So.
Me too.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So, you a Prince fan?
Huh?
Prince fan.
Oh, I love Prince.
I love Prince.
Who can say anything bad about Prince?
I know. I met guys that have told me. I met guys that have told me, "Nah, I'm not a Prince fan." I'm like, okay, we're no longer friends.
Right. Exactly. You do not have good taste in music if you don't like Prince.
Now you got to choose. Okay, I'm going to twist your arm here.
Do it.
Michael Jackson or Prince?
Michael Jackson. Sorry.
Okay, well, I love
Michael Jackson. Man in the Mirror. Ooh, that just gets me.
Favorite all time, maybe you might have mentioned it, Michael Jackson song.
Man in the Mirror.
Man in the Mirror.
Yeah. all
Mine
time.
is PYT.
Oh yeah, PYT.
I love that damn song, but that whole
Young
album
thing.
is just
amazing.
It's just classic.
Iconic.
Classic.
What's your favorite Prince song?
See, for me, I don't have one. They're albums.
Okay.
But the first one that came to my mind
Right.
was obviously the Purple Rain album.
Okay. Right.
To me, and I don't know how, but some way like changed my life, the way I saw music.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that guy could be licking on a lollipop, have a do-rag, wear eyeliner, and steal
Yeah.
your chick.
I know. I know. He's sick.
Yeah, he
What
is.
an icon.
And I got to see him in concert. So
Nice. Where at?
Right here, Long Beach.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, Long Beach.
Yeah.
But like songs like "Do Me, Baby,"
Yep.
"Adore," "International Lover," you know, I could just go on with the slow songs. But
Yeah.
yeah. Then Michael Jackson, "The Lady in My Life" from the Thriller album.
Yes.
That's a dope song. But
Amazing.
yeah, it to me, I think when it was saddening when Michael passed, but when Prince passed, to me it hit me harder because I grew up like really loving and adoring his music.
Yep.
You know, so now, give me your top 5, if any, if you have any,
Mm-hmm.
top 5 R&B artists.
Oof. Miguel. Boys to Men. Gosh, it's so hard. I don't know why I just went blank.
Take your time.
Who?
It's okay.
But Bruno Mars is like, yeah, he's saying Bruno Mars because Bruno Mars is my favorite artist of all time. But he's
Right.
not really R&B. Well, he is hitting the R&B
Yes.
scene a lot. I always think of
Yes.
him as like pop, but yeah, he is doing R&B.
Okay.
I love Kehlani. Yeah, I love Ariana Grande's new R&B album, Positions. There's so many, and I just went blank. I think it's just because there's so many. Yeah.
You know what?
How about you?
Wow.
I know. You were like,
Wow. Yeah.
there's
Well,
so many.
yeah, there is. Of course, I have to mention. Well, I don't know. If I would. What would you consider her? Pop? Whitney Houston.
Oh, when you I always think pop,
Yeah.
but I guess you
Maybe
would
slash-
say R&B,
Pop / R&B.
pop R&B.
Yeah,
of course,
yeah.
Whitney. Yeah.
Okay, now are you a Mariah Carey fan?
Oh, I love her. Are you kidding? She's an icon.
Yeah.
Yeah, no matter what, I mean, even with all the turbulence she went through and stuff like that, like no one can touch Mariah Carey, and especially in her prime, no one had the range that she had. I think she sings over like 4 different octaves and stuff like that. So I mean, she's amazing. She's iconic. She's a great writer, producer. So I love Mariah Carey.
What was that?
And we actually
song?
saw her in concert.
Really?
Yeah, we saw her in concert for, what was it, our anniversary or what?
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day, and she was amazing. Killed it, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. Like how was she in concert?
She was awesome.
That's awesome. That's
I was
awesome.
drinking a lot too, but I know. Yeah, she was amazing.
Okay, now I'm gonna ask you a question. It's gonna put you kind of on the spot. It's about an artist. Okay.
Okay.
What song will Beyonce be remembered for?
Ooh.
What was the first
I would
one?
that she'll be remembered for. I
Like-
think
like-
the biggest song that she did was that "Put a Ring on It" song. If
Okay.
you like it, then you should have put a ring. I think that video was so iconic that I think that just when you hear that song, you think of Beyonce.
Okay.
Yeah. How
See,
about, what do you think?
See, it was funny because I always wondered, like, we all know she's a beautiful woman. Okay.
Oh,
Okay. We that's besides the talent part.
Yes.
But I always wonder, how did she get so big? Because when somebody asked me like,
Tony.
what song will she be remembered for?
Yeah.
Not to take away her talent, because obviously we know her Destiny's Child stuff.
Right.
But I always said to myself, like, Crazy in Love, like, is that it?
Okay.
Like, so I was thinking, like,
Right.
is that really it? But you brought up that song, and that's a song that I guess I forgot.
Yeah.
I
She
mean,
has so many. And again, I don't know why I just went blank. And then watch, as soon as I leave, I'm going to come up with like 10 different R&B artists that I'm like listening to.
Right.
A bunch of Beyonce songs. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, and what I really respect about her, obviously, other than that, she's like basically the queen because she can sing, she can dance, she can act, she can produce, she can write, she does it all.
The whole package.
She's the whole package, and that's how I feel about Bruno Mars. But that's like a different thing.
Right.
What I love and respect about her is that she does a lot of music for her people and her culture, and even though that's not my culture or my people, I respect when someone does that for their community.
Absolutely.
And their people. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I like that she embraces that and does that.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
And the reason why that came up, because somebody recently told me, and I was kind of dumbfounded when they said that she has won more Grammys and more Grammy nominations than any other artist.
Okay.
So, not that I'm saying that that's hard to believe, but Crazy in Love, like, that was it. Like, that's the thing that, because when you think Michael Jackson, I think Thriller, just the album.
Alone.
Yeah, Alone. You know, Prince, I can name albums.
Right.
So with her, I was only able to come up with one song.
And that's because you are a Prince and Michael fan.
Yes.
She was a newer generation.
Right.
So she's that same way in the newer generation too.
Right.
You know, and you know, us growing up was that she has those albums that are timeless and stuff, and she's got hits.
Okay, you have to choose between Mariah Carey and Beyonce.
Well, Mariah.
Okay.
You know, I was born in the 80s. I got to go with Mariah Carey.
Okay.
Mariah Carey set the bar. And before that, I go with Barbra Streisand.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
You know.
Wow, Barbara. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Oh, Barbra Streisand was the first time I just listened to music and fell in love with a vocalist and thought, wow, now that's a singer.
I'm trying to remember the Barbra Streisand songs because I know she's had hits.
Oh gosh, she had "Don't Rain on My Parade." Wow. Don't tell me not to live, just sit and putter. Life's candies and the sun's a bowl of. Don't bring on a cloud to rain on my parade. Don't tell me not to fly. I simply got. I'm gonna turn all musical on you. I'm such a nerd.
No, it's dope. That's dope.
Ay, Dios mío. She's had so many hits.
Right.
Tell Him. She did Tell Him with Celine Dion, but I'm thinking before Barbra Streisand. You never saw the movie Funny Girl?
No.
Oh my gosh.
No.
See,
You recommend it?
I absolutely recommend it. Please see it. It's a beautiful film. She sings Don't Rain on My Parade in it. And yeah.
Okay. Favorite 80s movie if you have one? Comedy or
Breakfast Club.
You know what?
Was it Breakfast Club called?
Yeah, it was called Breakfast Club. Yeah,
was it called Breakfast Club with what's her name with the red hair?
Judd Nelson, Molly Ringwald.
Yeah.
Breakfast Club. That's right. See, we get Breakfast Club mixed up with the podcast or whatever.
The podcast, yeah.
No, but that's where they took it from.
Yep.
Now, you know what mine is?
Love that.
Can't Buy Me Love.
Okay, yeah.
I love that movie.
Absolutely. I love
Sometimes
that.
I think I'm Ronald Miller. Now,
okay. I dig it.
I did a show in the late 90s in, I think it was Tucson, Arizona. Yes.
Okay.
And the guy who's driving us to our room, I'm just sitting right there, and I'm staring at a high school.
Yeah.
And he goes, "You recognize that high school?" And I was like, "Nah, dude. I've been out here once in the early '90s, and now today, you know."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, that's where they filmed that stupid movie, Can't Buy Me Love." And I was like,
"Oh, you died." That's crazy.
I was like, "What?" And I go, "Drive me around, you know."
Yeah.
Like you know what's around here? Remember the high school, Buffy the Vampire Slayer and 90210?
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, the high school's over here.
That's dope. Oh, I was a huge Buffy fan.
Me too.
You too?
Yes.
Yeah.
My favorite holiday is Halloween. What's yours?
Yep, Halloween. I love it.
Are you a March baby?
No, my dad is. I'm Aquarius, January.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, happy belated birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate it. As for a female getting older, it's like,
Okay.
Yeah.
I know you have apparel coming out.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
But I want to ask you something about some apparel that just came out.
Okay.
I believe through Nike. Alex, help me out with this. Little Nas X.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. He released satanic shoes. You heard about that?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay.
I saw it on TMZ, The Breakfast Club. We're talking about it.
They're made by Mischief.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Not Mischief.
But it would actually, but they put the Nike symbol on there, but Nike did not put it out, right?
They bought the shoes and then.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, gotcha.
It supposedly contains a drop of human blood in every shoe or whatever.
Okay.
Some bullshit like that.
Okay.
And has a scripture on there when Satan fell out of the sky or whatever.
Oh wow. Okay.
Like, yeah,
I didn't know any of.
Yeah. Like I don't know. Like when you see things like that, do you see that as an artist publicity stunt?
Oh my gosh. I really don't know what to make of that.
Me neither.
I feel like I don't know if it's. I feel like in this newer generation.
Yeah.
The Satan is the cool thing. A lot of artists that are out now, that's what they rep.
Right.
You know, the lyrics in their songs,
Right.
you know, the titles, what, you know, every video is that. I don't know if it's something that always kind of existed that
Right.
people never really talked about, but I feel like maybe it's becoming more of the new normal and more people are jumping on it.
Right.
If you look into it, I'm always Googling things and like reading up on, you know, different stuff. And I guess supposedly there's a lot of celebrities that are considered Satanists and stuff like that. So who knows? I am Catholica all the way. I'm about Christ, and you know,
Right.
whether it's gonna sell me whatever, I stay away from that.
Yeah. You know what?
It's not my thing, but I'm not putting anyone down. If that's what, do you?
Yeah, you
but
do you.
It's
Yeah.
not for me.
I just thought it was kind of weird. I was like, what the hell?
But it's gonna be selling out. I
yeah,
bet you.
I truly believe that.
And especially these young kids, like they jump all over that.
Yeah.
My kids aren't allowed to, but. You ain't
Let's
getting that.
talk about your apparel. What exactly
Yes.
is it, and what is the name of it?
Yes, so back since like MySpace, I was always saying blessings and besitos to like, you know, my tagline on there.
Right.
And I always say it to this day. So I'm coming out with the t-shirt line that says blessings and besitos.
Yes.
You can go onto my Instagram at Sophia Maria 702 and I have photos of the merch, and then you just email sophiamariamerch@gmail.com and we're placing orders. We actually have Solid Promo Prints out in Vegas are going to be doing the t-shirts, and they're going to range from small to 3X. And right now we're starting with the t-shirts, and then eventually we'll be doing, you know, like hats, hoodies,
Whatever.
booty shorts. Yeah.
Booty-
So
yeah. I'll buy
but
booty
it's-
shorts.
All right, I'll get you some booty shorts, Tony.
Not for me to wear. I'll buy them for Alex.
Okay.
No, but your Instagram's popping up so people can see your Instagram.
Yes.
People can follow you.
Sophia
And-
Maria 702.
Yes, and when the video's posted up, which soon after,
Yes.
it'll also be in the description so people can look you up and follow you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Yeah.
you. Thank
so
you.
now, so that the booty shorts are all coming out.
Yes.
Then you have a new song, if I'm correct.
I do.
Let's promote it.
Okay, so my new single out right now is called You Make Me Cry. Alan Beck was the executive producer. You can go watch the video on my Instagram or my YouTube channel, which is Sophia Maria 702. Subscribe, like, you know, check out
Comment.
the video. Yeah, comment.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Hey, give it a thumbs down. I don't care. Just watch the video. Hey, but no, it's all love. So You Make Me Cry. It's a song that I love so much because in all of my career, I've always co-wrote a lot of music, or I was, you know, featuring this and that. This is a song that Johnny Boy actually got me the beat from his friend KG, KG Cold, that makes these beats. Very talented young man. Johnny Boy blessed me with the beat. So again, thank you, Johnny Boy. And I wrote the song myself and produced it and recorded it. My friend Carlos Torres, you can look him under Carlos Torres Films, recorded the music video. And we actually, it was so funny because I had to turn the video in during COVID. So we did it at my house.
Oh.
And so it's interesting, but it actually came out dope, you know. And it's a song that's, you know, being in a relationship with someone and finding out that they were unfaithful. And I'm more so saying in the song, you know, you lost everything over a piece of ass. And it's something that my mom used to say all the time, like, why would he lose everything, his family, everything for one night, or, you know, for a piece of ass? So it's definitely in your feels type of song, but it's very relatable. So
No, but that's
let me
dope.
know what you think.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Definitely leave a comment and a thumbs up. She said thumbs down.
Or thumbs down.
Up.
Hey, it's all good.
Subscribe, please. Subscribe to her YouTube channel. And what is the YouTube again? Sophia Maria 702?
My YouTube channel is Sophia Maria 702. Same as my Instagram. And it's always 702 because I'm from Vegas. I rep Vegas. Sophia Maria 702. And you asked me earlier during the break, you said, is Sophia Maria your real name or a
Yes.
stage name? It is my real name. And it's so funny because on my birth certificate, I don't have a middle name. It's just Sophia Maria with no middle name, and then of course, you know, it was my name before I got married. But yeah, so Sophia Maria.
That's dope. That's dope.
Oh,
I like
thanks.
that. I like
Yeah.
that. So,
It gets used to, you know, it gets used to. It.
but I'm glad you made that type of song because it's true. It goes both ways, you know, because when guys usually cheat, they'll have their fine wife at home, and then they'll go sleep with a Felicia, you know, from like a.
They'll hit any. You know what's so funny? I'm gonna get so much shit in the comments, and I apologize, but I'm very open, and you know, sometimes I talk out of my ass, but that's me. Whenever someone, let me tell you something, whenever someone says, oh, like, you don't have to worry about like this kind of person because she's not my type, or they'll be like, oh, like, girls will be like, I'm not worried about her because like she's not his type.
Right.
Like, no, like, and this is for vice versa too,
Right,
because I'm not just trying to attack men or anything, but I believe that someone doesn't have a type when it's a certain time or their mind's only on one thing. Mm-hmm. So they could be like, I don't like short girls or freckles and brown hair. Well, at one point in time, if that person sees the short girl with freckles and brown hair and they want something and that girl's willing and open, she's going to be his type.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
And it's vice versa, but you know.
I saw a meme one time, and it was kind of like stages in one meme, and it said, the guy's drinking tequila, the girl's not that good looking. After the next shot, her face is getting blurry. Right. And then the next one, it's not tequila's te amo.
Yeah. And then she's Halle Berry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Drink
know.
till she's cute. Like, she's not that big, bro. Bro, she's 300 pounds. She's not that. And not to make fun of people, but that's just, you know.
And you know, I can only imagine how tough it is for guys because as a woman, I find women attractive and women are beautiful. So,
yes.
You know, the main thing is don't cheat, you know, don't cheat.
So listen to that song. You don't want to lose everything for a piece of nalga.
Yeah.
So now you dropped that song. The song is out right now. You have visuals for it. What can we expect 2021 from Sophia Maria now that things are opening up? Yes. Can we expect shows? Can we expect possibly an EP, albums? You know, what more can people expect? The clothing, obviously, that's going to be dropping.
Yes. Everything right now, I'm streaming everything. I'm doing singles. So, you know, I'm streaming You Make Me Cry. That's out right now. I have a couple more songs that I'm going to be putting out very soon. Okay. There's songs I have out right now with AC the Promoter that we did with MC Magic called Hey Girl. We just did a new song called Take Your Picture with RDL. We have a song coming out soon with Bash. I did the song with Coolio and Frost. That's out. You can check out the links. And then touring wise, I'm going to be touring with Alan Beck's PCG. So I'm going to be touring with his concerts and the Art Laboe concerts, coming up. So I'm excited about that.
And you're busy. You're busy.
I'm busy between, my kids. Shout out to Trey, Tyson, and Gigi, the loves of my life. And being a wife, shout out to my husband, Chad, and with music. Life is very busy, but, it's good and I'm blessed. Yeah. I got God on my side and I'm set.
That's awesome. And you know what, by the way, Chad is tall. I feel short. Okay.
You guys, my husband is 6'8", and I'm so little. I'm like 5'2".
I'm 6'3", and I feel like a midget. Thanks, Chad.
Thanks a lot.
No, okay, so now, two other things. Anything I didn't ask you, anything that you want to share, maybe I didn't bring up, now is the time.
I think we spoke about everything. I would just say again, you guys hit me up on my Instagram, Sophia Maria 702. Send me a comment.
Alex,
I'll write you back as soon as possible. My Facebook, Sophia Maria, and then go check out my music. Is available on all music platforms: Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music. And and I'm just happy that I'm here again. Shout out to Johnny Boy for hooking this up. I know he set this whole thing up, and it was a pleasure meeting you. You're an icon. You've been in the business for a long time and very well respected, and I'm just happy to be here. So
thank you. Well, I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy that you gave me the honor and the privilege to interview you. I love your story.
Thank you.
But I also want to give a shout out to Johnny Boy, Mr. Las Vegas, MC Magic, Big D. Much love, much respect to you guys. And other than that, I think we're pretty much done.
It's a wrap, baby.
Yeah, it's a wrap. You guys got to drive back.
And you guys, thanks for tuning in. I was reading your comments. This shit was hilarious.
Huh? That shit is hilarious.
I was like, I can mess with this.
Well, The door is always open. You guys are welcome to come back anytime. Whenever you
Thank
guys want
you.
to promote something or whatever,
Okay.
let me know. Hit
Good
me
to
up,
know.
and we'll bring you back.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Pleasure
Tony.
meeting you.
Pleasure,
Chad,
everyone. Thank
Alex
you, Rhodium
for-
Radio.
yes.
Woohoo!
Alex for running
Thank you,
shit.
Alex.
My son B Scallons for helping me promote this, and the hip hop Jedi Anthony. So we'll see you guys here Wednesday with another special guest. So we're out of here. You guys got a long drive home.
We do. Going back to Vegas.
Going back to
Eating
Vegas.
tacos first and some
Vegas.
pasta.
Awesome. We're out of here.
You got it.